Hello, 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 and welcome to the ozfortress Season 16 Intermediate Grand Finals. My name is Bren, and today I'm joined by Oxy and Yauch. How's it going, guys?
Hey, I'm not too bad, Bren. How are you going?
Not too bad. So, as I understand it, we got Oxy doing the side-by-side of me, and Yauch doing a bit of analysis on the side.
Yeah, I'm
the
banter supplement. That's what I'm here for.
Here to disagree with me about which team you think is going to win. I think you mean to be more correct.
I never said any such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. No one's going to win tonight. That's my prediction.
It's gearing up to be a good game, especially for these two teams. If you're looking at the progression of them, I think it's certainly going to be an interesting set of three maps. We don't actually know what three maps we're going to be yet, but
is it 3 or 5? I was under the impression it was.
Is it best of 5 for Inter Grand Finals? I thought they changed it to best of 3 after the debacle of last season with teams doing best of 5. But I'm not actually too sure about that one.
Yeah, I'm sure someone in the know will tell us. But yeah, you're absolutely right about the team history. I think Damage Incorporated is one of the most interesting stories to come out of Inter this season. Coming, 7th in Open last season, and now that here they are, 2nd seed and finishing in the grand final, at least top 2.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a best of 3 coming into this grand final, and I think we'll lead in when we do our predictions. But I got a bit to talk about Damage Incorporated because I played Open this season that they played, and then I backed up this season for Nerds in Inter and played against them a fair amount as a scrim partner. So I've got a fair bit to attest to them and their ability coming into tonight. But I'm wondering, Bren, what do you know about these two teams?
Absolutely nothing. So, I know I follow the Australian scene quite lightly. I'm not afraid to admit. I watch it when I can, but most of the time, the timing of the games doesn't really work out too well. I recognise a few of the players just from TFTV and things. I know Hyperion, he was having issues with his graphics card, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was posting on TFTV
his graphics
about
card was on life support this afternoon, but he's tentatively said that he's good to go. If not, he's going to be playing with integrated graphics, which will be a nightmare, but we'll see how that one goes. Got a bit of a roster shake-up on both teams, I think, actually. Oh, more so on Damaging. You going to talk about that, Oxy?
I'm not too sure what's happening with Damaging. Do you mean like for the grand final they're having a roster shake-up, or?
Yeah, like right now. Have you heard about that one?
No, I haven't heard about that story.
So this game was in scheduling nightmare for quite a while, which is why it's being played so much later than all the other finals. But despite all of the time taken to organise a day both teams can play, Fane, the core pocket for Damage Incorporated, forgot he had his formal. So he will not be playing tonight.
Do you know they have standing in?
They have Halion, who is their backup.
Halion's still a very solid soldier, but it's going to be hard, especially with Fane. Like, Fane as a pocket, like when I've seen him play, and who he played for, he played for, in season 15, he played in Open for Quantum Laboratories. He was a really good pocket for them, especially DM-wise. He's very good DM pocket, is very good converting damage off his heals. So, like, Halion's still a great soldier, but I've mainly seen him in that roamer role, like, getting really good picks and really good jumps. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of ties in, I guess, in how they want to play it out tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And I was having a chat to both team captains. Pingu is confident with Halion as a replacement. They're feeling good. They're feeling good going into this. Both teams are feeling good, so we're set for a good game, I reckon. Yeah,
and I think that kind of comes into what I was wanting to talk about a bit, I guess, kind of coming into our predictions of this game, if you're interested in getting into that. But I guess, like, casting our mind back to, like, ozfortress Season 15 in Open, which you were saying, like a previous iteration of this team, which is Damage Incorporated, like, they kind of played there and they came 7th. And, like, I played against them and, like, my team beat them quite a fair bit and scrimmed against them a lot. And a lot of the core problems they kind of had in that team have really been ironed out in this intermediate season. Like, they picked up Halfrong, who was the medic for Bunnings in that season in Open, who kind of came in halfway and filled in for Josh Chap, who, you know, got unceremoniously expunged from the league at that point in time, and he kind of came in and
an interesting time, yeah.
But it's he came in and he got picked up coming into intermediate season, as well as Dream Destroyer got picked up off that another open team, and then they kind of came into this season. And as anyone who played in the Australian scene would know, and for those that don't, this team kind of came in and started scrimming every night. Scrimming three scrims a night. And I was speaking to a few people in my team about coming into this game, and I was saying, look, I really think Intoxicated are going to take it. Is what I was saying to them. I was saying I really feel like Intoxicated. They've played, I think, a season of intermediate already, under the intermediate banner, but they've also played at a level that many players would consider to be intermediate level. So they've got at least 2 seasons experience behind them. Intox do, but you've also got to look at it the case that with Damage Incorporated, they came into the start of this season, playing the team that I backed up for Ninja Robot Dong Sharks, and they were getting 5-0'd by Ninja Robot Dong Sharks, and then it comes to the end of the season, and they're 5-0 in Ninja Robot Dong Sharks, and the progression they've made over a season in terms of that really a time and effort they put in scrimming over a whole season, a lot has really they've come into their own. So I don't really think you can expel them from putting on a really good show here. And I think
absolutely, yeah. I was just going to say, I think it's one of the big things to watch tonight is I think that these two teams have absolutely polarizingly different play styles, and I'm going to see how that plays into it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play against each other and play around each other almost. Should we do rosters before we get further into predictions? Do you reckon, Oxy?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to be doing that?
Yeah, read them out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, rather than calling out the rosters, let's just go through any particular players on either side that you're anticipating to just show up, be high impact gamers.
I think for Damage Incorporated, Crud, their demo has really done very well this season. Previously, season 15 in Open, one of the things that I noticed when my team was scrimming against them a lot was that he was often very good demo, but he was one of those kind of players that you see, moments of mediocrity and moments of glory. He'd turn up really well for his team and do huge damage, but then he'd have some maps where he really just couldn't get a word in edgewise, and that happens a lot for demo players. They really struggle kind of when they're on that back foot, really trying to struggle kind of getting a word in edgewise, especially when you need that. But I found that this season he's really kind of overcome that problem, and I think part of that is just the amount of time they put into it in regards to practice and that kind of stuff. So I think he's certainly someone to look out for in terms of if his scouts and his soldiers give him the space to do work, then I think he'll do really well.
I completely agree. I think Crud, having also played intermediate this season, played against him, he has been a monster. He has been probably, in my opinion, hands down the best demo in Inter this season, and yeah, he had a really big game and was probably the MVP of their semi-final against TR6, so he's definitely one to watch for. Another one to watch would be Zoek, their roamer, who is a good roamer but also a notorious off-classer. He can pull some things out of God knows where. He's very hit and miss, but very solid sniper, loves his pyro, loves his heavy, and so he will be one to watch for some plays tonight.
I think another name on everyone's probably lips is Skaznik for Intoxicated. He's their team leader. He's a big personality in the scene, but he's a very good soldier. I was earlier in the week I was mucking around on some jump maps, and I saw him load into the server, and he was just blitzing through those. So I'm expecting some big jumps from him tonight, probably. He's often a big playmaker for his team, and I'm expecting him to go huge. I think I see him zipping around the map and jumping in, turning heads, and putting in big damage. I think if he doesn't make big plays, I'd be very surprised tonight.
I agree, and what he also does really well for this team is he creates a lot of room for his scouts, and those two scouts, Jash and Benny, are both very strong DM players. They are the cleanup crew, Dwindle cleanup crews in Inter, and the space that they use, created by their soldiers, has allowed them to put up some really big numbers and have some really big matches this season, so they are both going to be impact players. If they get the room, they're going to do some damage tonight.
I think playstyle-wise, something that I was wanting to mention before when I was talking about the history of the teams, I think I was talking about how Intoxicated, have a fair bit more experience in intermediate, and how I feel like that's going to really weigh into how the grand final goes. But I think as I was talking about how these teams have scrimmed, several times, how Damage Incorporated had been scrimming a lot regularly, I think it kind of comes back to, I think it was several seasons ago, a long time ago, someone linked me, it was an old thread in the ozfortress servers that happened a long time ago. It was about these two teams that played in the grand final, and one of these teams, they thought they didn't really have the DM to win it, and they'd spent ages and ages and ages doing all these demo reviews. And after they won the grand final, and after they'd won it, they'd posted this massive Google document they'd done where they'd documented every single player on every single rollout they'd ever done on these maps and like how to counter it, etc. And I feel like that's the kind of play I'm going to expect from Damage Incorporated, because scrims have relatively dried up in the Australian scene lately, especially in between seasons, and I think they haven't been scrimming as much. But I'm certainly indicative of the amount of time they put in scrimming during the season. I suspect they would have put that energy into demo reviews, into practice. So I think that while we're going to see players go huge for both teams, I think the coordination play from Damage Incorporated it's why I'm tipping them to win, because I feel like they're going to put in a lot of time looking at demos, probably looking at ways to counter these kind of players and counter these big players from Intoxicated. And I think that's why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Also, they're the underdog,
Absolutely.
So you gotta love an underdog.
We love an underdog here in Australia, being the underdogs in just about everything, because we're not that great of a nation, but that's all right. No, I totally agree with you, and I think one of the things that they do really well on Damage Incorporated, which I'm curious to see how Intoxicated adapts to it, is they create chaos, but they create chaos together, and they're still on the same page while they're doing some interesting plays. They had some interesting coordinated sacks into spy plays in the semi-final and those sorts of things. And I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I think Intoxicated are a team who it might get into their heads a little bit. And I reckon if we see some Pingu Spy or something like that, or some heavy crits, which I know they've been known to run, things like that, I think it'll weigh on Intoxicated's mind, and we'll have to see how they come back from that psychologically to get themselves back into the game.
I think part of that also comes from looking at the two meds, like half wrong when you're comparing him to Cianiki. So Cianiki, for those who don't know, played medic for Jaro in season 15 and Open and came second. And as I was mentioned before, half wrong played for Bunnings. But I remember speaking to half wrong about halfway through that season, and he was talking to me how he was a fairly old player, hadn't played in a couple of years, and was looking to come back and just seeing what teams would take him. And personality-wise, outside of being a very nice guy, he's a very adaptable player, and he changes his play style a lot. He's not afraid to run crits. He's not afraid to change it up from his play style that I've seen. And I feel like that is going to be really important looking at these med matchup. I feel like when I see Cianiki, I feel like he's pretty conservative in his med play from what I've seen. But I also haven't followed much of his games this season, so I can't really comment on it so much. And, because I've scrimmed against half wrong a fair bit, I can say that pretty comfortably that I wouldn't be surprised if we see some funky things. But I think, as you were saying, with Intoxicated getting a little bit not tilted so much, but a bit shaken, I feel like they're the same kind of team that if energy kind of goes into Intoxicated in terms of they start rolling with it DM wise and start getting a big lead on it, then I can see them performing. They're one of those teams that once the confidence gets behind them, they'll really start to snowball with that.
I absolutely agree, and I think that's one thing that we've noticed. I've played with and against Intoxicated a little bit this season, and they are really aggressive, and once they get the ball rolling, they play off their momentum so well. They get confident, they get that bit of bravado, and that's when they start taking DM fights, which is the thing. I think, as you said, the coordination is something that Damage Inc. have been working on really hard this season, but in terms of raw DM, I reckon they're not quite a match for Intoxicated, so we're going to have to see how that goes, how that plays into it.
Certainly. Aside from that, until we know the maps, I don't think I can really make much more of a prediction, aside from talking a bit more maybe about Intoxicated and about their kind of story.
I'm curious to Bren. Bren, looking at the names of the players in the server, absolutely nothing else, who do you think is going to go huge?
I mean, just based on what you guys have been saying, I'm assuming that Damage Incorporated are going to be playing pretty well. You've talked up Crud quite a lot as well. So I'm going to be assuming that, I don't know, I mean, have Damage Incorporated been scrimming a lot? You said the scrims have been drying up recently, but you still think they're keen enough to do those demo reviews and such?
Both these teams are keen. They've been somehow managing to find scrims in the last few weeks, but yeah, both these teams are motivated. Both these teams don't like each other. Both these teams want to win. So that's the basic context to all this.
Well, I don't think they don't like each other. I think they're both probably just keen for a win.
A great deal of banter over the time, I'll say. I'm sure they don't like each other, they don't dislike each other personally, but there's been some.
That probably
comes storyline here.
That comes in a bit, I think, into the team. I think Damage Inc. When I knew them, their scout Pingu, who I think was previously known as Squid, when he played in season 15. Seal or Squid or whatever. Yeah, he was a bit of a salty lad, if I remember correctly, and was a bit of point of contention, I think, for his team. But from what I know, he was a reformed player this coming season, and he's dropped the salt, but he's embraced the memes, from what I understand. So I know he's a big fan of posting some binds after he gets a big kill and that kind of stuff, which gets some players I know, they turn their chat off because that gets them. And I'm one of those players that if someone, chucks something in chat that's a little bit too cheeky, you can sometimes rub me the wrong way. So who knows? I think they're just about to sort maps pretty soon though. So interested to see what picks.
What are you expecting map-wise then? What are you expecting these teams to try and pick?
I think one map that I've seen Intoxicated be really strong on is Reckoner. They put up some beastly scrim results and took it quite comfortably in their semi, so I would be surprised if Damage Inc., knowing that, didn't ban Reckoner. So that's one big map, and other than that, I don't think there's much favoritism around these guys. Neither of them have the most notably, consistently big snipers, so I don't think Product will be one that either team goes to looking for an edge. So I'm not too sure, honestly. Have you got any further insight, Oxy?
I was going to say Product, but then I was thinking about, Damage Inc. favouring Product, but then I was like, well, the soldiers for Intoxicated, are going to go huge. So I feel like it doesn't favour either of them, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it out here. Product's one of those maps that, if you're having a rough time team coordination-wise, you can just kind of focus on the DM for it, but it also does require a fair bit of coordination. But you know what I mean? It's one of those maps you kind of like to keep up your sleeve. I don't like choosing Products as a first map pick, especially when I've got a bit of playoffs experience. I've been in playoffs twice, and I never like picking Product as your first map. But I feel like as a decider, it's a nice kind of even map. Do you know what I mean? It's usually it doesn't really favour one team over the other. There are some teams that, for example, Reckoner, for example, you got to really kind of know that map pretty well to be comfortable in that. Whereas Product, everyone's played Product, everyone knows how to shoot rockets at people's feet. You don't really need to, so it just fairly favours both teams, I think.
Oh, that said, we've got the picks. First pick for Intoxicated is Product after Intoxicated banned Process, and as I said, Damage Inc. banned Reckoner. Yep.
Yeah.
So second pick is Granary, so we'll be seeing some Granary stalemates. Love that. And
Granary backcaps?
That too. I'm a bit pessimistic. And now we got the decider being Anticipation. Pingu wants to play Sunshine. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
How has Reckoner been working out in the ozfortress scene? Has it been taken over quite nicely, or what's the general consensus on it? Does everyone hate it like NA? Or
I really like it, but I think the only times I've ever scrimmed on it was when we were crushing lower open teams. So you kind of can't not enjoy when you're wrecking teams on it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's when teams are hard pressed on a map like that problems, people start not to like it because it's the maps Snakewater, that kind of stuff, and Granary, for example, where it's so well played that when you're down on it, you kind of want to know what backups you can do. Can you run a spy through Z, that kind of stuff. And on Reckoner, people don't know, not comfortable with it yet, so they're not they don't like it because they're not comfortable to lose on it.
My team wasn't a fan of Reckoner personally, and I think that also had to do with the fact that we played a 30-minute match on it. It was 1-1 at the end, and then we went on to a 40-minute golden cap. I think that might have also played into our distaste for it a little bit, but it's been so-so. Some people like it, some people don't. I'd say it's probably just about as polarizing as Sunshine still is, but yeah, I don't think we have the burning passion for it that some of the Euros do.
Yeah, it's quite odd that. I don't know if it's because the Euros they've been playing, they did a lot of playtesting for Reckoner, and because of that and the practice they put into it, they sort of, I guess, that understanding of the map goes in a lot further. I don't know if that's the same case in ozfortress. Was there a lot of playtesting over here, or
no?
Was it mainly just sticking to the normal maps?
From what I've seen of Sideshow stream and things of the like, Euros are the most ready to test out new maps and the most willing to sort of go that, and really tried them out in things like double mixes, and I've seen just some very interesting maps played and on streams and whatnot. But I don't think we're resistant to change down here. We like the knowns. I don't think they've been graciously received. Sunshine or Reckoner, we're not big fans. We also I was gonna
say, the only thing I don't really like about Reckoner personally is like when you're playing med on the midpoint, especially when you're capping it up, you don't really get good vision of people coming in through to second, which I personally like, and I think it would be a lot nicer because if say you wipe another team at mid, etc., and it's just you and one player up or something in mid, you can't really see if a soldier's coming in to bomb you, which is like my personal qualm, but it's the way the map plays out, so it's the way you play with it. That and last holds aren't really well done. I think when I've played it, we've had an engineer come up and place a teleporter on one side of the last to the other behind the wall, so you can't get spammed. So if anyone comes in or tries to snipe your med just teleports from one side to the other, and it's like
that's genius.
Can't do anything about it. So it's a bit of a classic.
This is making me
61 pocket strats, don't say anymore.
This is making me shudder. Think of the Rescue Ranger players that we're going to be seeing next season. That'll be that'll be a time. What a time to be alive.
I think my only upset is that I spent so long learning Sunshine and I've developed kind of a real soft spot for it, especially with previous iterations of teams that I've played in. We've always kind of valued that as like one of our stronger maps. And now that we've lost it, and now that I'm coming back into a season where I backed up, now I'm playing core again, it's kind of like I feel like, I've lost my one baby, lost my love child, but that's all right.
Do we want to run through rosters really quickly now as they're filing into the server? We're on what is this map called? Product. God, yes, Product for the first map. Intoxicated's pick. Do we want to do rosters super quick?
Yeah, sounds good. Do you want to take us down the roster for Intox?
Intoxicated. All right, Intoxicated on scouts. We have Benny, Benjamin, and Jash. On Roma, it is Skaz. On Pocket, it is Hyperion. Demo is Morph, and the medic is Sea Anarchy. You want to hit us up with the Damage Inc. roster, Oxy?
Yeah, sure. So we got half wrong on med. We got crud on demo. Hellions filling in on Pocket for us. We have Dream Destroyer on Scout, Pingu on Scout, and their Roma is Zoic, I think.
Zoic or Swati, I don't know what he'll be taking.
He was usually known.
Tonight.
I think he was previously known as Lantern in the community, wasn't he?
I have absolutely no clue.
From what I understand, or no, actually no, different dude. Very similar profiles. They both got the anime profile picture, whatever it is. That one that I'm thinking of. But I know that he rang for them a fair bit in Open, and he was a great player for them. I know that I think he was like that Zoic bloke was attributed with, I think, the turning of the tide against their Wheelchair Warriors game in Open in Season 15. He was attributed to a big player for that. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think we're going to see a lot of sniper off-classing coming into this map?
I think I'd be surprised if I didn't see Zoic, the man we were just talking about, go sniper at least once. I remember scrimming this team on Product, and it was... Some days they were really, really manageable with Zoic on sniper. Some days it was the worst thing you've ever done in your life. He was just stand up on China and hit absolutely everything. So if he shows up, it's going to be interesting, I reckon. And as for Intoxicated, I'm not too sure, honestly. I feel like they're neither Skaz or Hyperion aren't known for their sniping, and I think they'd be insane to change either of their scouts off Scout, because they are probably the strongest players on the roster, in my opinion. So I don't know if we would see a sniper coming out from them.
I mean, this map here, Product, it was Intoxicated's Macbeck. Do they have anything up their sleeves? Do they have any capable snipers? Are their scouts pretty comfortable?
The scouts. It's the scouts all the way on this map. They are going to both put up big numbers in the ideal world, obviously, but it's going to be, they've picked this to cater for their scouts like 100%, and that's what we're going to see.
Alright. Well, we do have 6 on both sides. I'd imagine we're going to be getting going fairly shortly. Do we know what the last map is?
Badlands.
Badlands is what we've been told. So
that's what I'm reading in stream chat. So when has stream chat ever been wrong?
Products into, what was it, Granary?
Granary.
Into
Badlands.
If we go to the third map, that is. But it
Badlands
should be
the
good
great
fun.
equalizer.
Yeah. So you guys aren't actually using the new whitelist yet, are you?
No, because this is the final match of last season, so no,
Okay.
we won't be seeing any laser beams being shot everywhere. Even though I know,
Yeah.
I think it was Skaz was a fan of that weapon.
We're already seeing the early effects of it in EU from the first few games. Last defences as well, particularly hard to push into when teams are running Vaccinator, Rescue Ranger, and just Pyro in general, to be honest. It makes it really, really hard for teams to push in. Rescue Ranger especially, so I think that's the main defining factor, but at the same time, you've got things like Jarate, which makes it much easier to push into choke points. So, I don't know, it's kind of balancing itself out. I was having this conversation with TurboTabs the other day. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but do you feel like these defensive off classes that are going to favour that defensive side a lot more are not going to get outweighed by the offensive off class? Items.
I caught some of the Crowns game the other day. I caught the Badlands portion of that stream, and I saw Flash just rescue rangering away, and it looked awful to break, honestly. I saw them try Jarate on the team they were playing against. I forget who it was, but I think that's one that's going to need to be looked at come end of the season, or even come mid-season, depending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really two ways about the whole thing, to be honest. Like, when the whitelist was announced, I was pretty much all for it, and I think that kind of comes from... I've been playing for a while, and I think I'm pretty traditionalist in my whitelist views. I think in
Medic
terms
unlocks
of
only.
players. No, I mean, like, players are going to complain about things like I understand the atomizer being like unfair for soldiers, stuff like the rescue ranger, etc. My argument's always been, look, I understand it's going to make your last holds not that great, but if you're going to lose to a player off one weapon, like if you're going to lose a round to a team off one weapon, then you're going to lose in the first place anyway. If you can't beat a team with your core 6 classes, like I understand, the pyro unlocks are a bit like but if you can't beat a pyro with your core 6 lineup, then you don't deserve to win anyway. And that's just me being a bit of a rude dude with it, I guess. But that's always been my view. If you can't beat them in like the 6v6 ultimate competitive Team Fortress 2 meta of, your 2 soldiers, your 2 scouts, then you're doing it wrong, is what I think at least.
Mm.
And if you're getting really upset about that, then it's probably because you don't have confidence in yourself to win anyway. Like, I understand the rescue range has been but my team runs we run, one normal rocket launcher and one of the anyway, we're going live, so let's get into it.
Yeah, the countdown has started. ozfortress Season 16 Intermediate Grand Finals. Intoxicated versus Damage Incorporated, and it's going to be a good one at that. A bit of a storyline behind these two teams. They've been battling out for quite some time. They've got very familiar with each other, but already we're going to see Benjamin going around the flank, the entirety of Intoxicated, taking all this space across the point, getting a lot of damage in. A few players falling a bit weak. Skaz picks up Zoic, but Dream's going to get that counter frag in the end of the day. Dream also seeing if he can make any magic happen through that connected area. Pingu might be able to get a kill onto Morph, but Benjamin in the end is going to finish him up with a quick little scattergun shot. So that is going to be the first cap of the game going to Intoxicated. And now the retake, so to speak, no, they've lost too many players here. I don't think they can opt to do it, but Damage Incorporated, they look like they want to repush this.
Beautiful work by Ben then. He drew like 2 players back, right into their back right, and they just couldn't. They lost positioning too much, but they're getting a repush here. It is even Ubers though. Seeing what spam they can get out, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. Both medics did not go down in that engagement whatsoever. It's a pretty much a game of tug and war. As it stands, neither side wants to take the initiation. Hyperion 1 looking like he wants to move in. Going to be rocket jumping back. In fact, Pingu's going to be falling. One pick that you cannot afford to lose, and Skaz jumping into the back lines is going to pull up a few of them back. Ubercharge popped off now by Damage Incorporated, seeing what they can do with it. But there we go, finally, Intoxicated going to be popping off theirs and seeing what work they can get done.
Beautiful work by Skaz there, drawing the attention behind himself. Like they didn't go back for him, but that med popped just because that fear of that soldier there, especially with so much pressure going on Crud at the moment. And that's going to be a beautiful, favourable Uber coming out for the way of Intoxicated there.
That was really nicely played actually as well. Skaz going onto the back lines, spamming a few rockets out, baited out the Uber charge early. As you said, played it to perfection. But now
even just like the mental pressure there onto their med. Because their demo is getting so low, like he knows there's a player behind. If he's trying to focus on healing that demo, he's going to pop because he's so worried about keeping those players alive.
There's a slight Uber advantage on the side of Intoxicated, only about 10%, as the heals aren't really coming through too much. And in fact, it looks like Intoxicated are 100% in the driving seat. They're picking up frag after frag, really just picking these players apart. Half wrong, very weak in the end. Having to back all the way off there, but the jump in by the soldiers from Intoxicated. Skaz also putting in a lot of work. The scouts trying to make their move across the point. More finishes up too. Nice little pipe there onto Crud in the end. And once again, Damage Incorporated getting completely pressured out of this map. And this is very dominant actually by Intoxicated, as you guys were expecting.
Beautiful aggressive work by both their soldiers though. We said their soldiers were going to be going huge, and both their soldiers gave their life, but they came in and just did so much damage, which it equates to this, keeping more time on the point for Intox here. And we just see, trying to get a good exchange here. There's probably going to be a solo, I'm expecting, from Intox.
Well, they popped in both the Uber charges, seeing what they can get with it. Unfortunately, Dream did fall to an early sticky trap in that engagement. Benjamin going to be finding that one kill onto Pingu as well. Crud might be falling, indeed he does. Hyperion going to be finding absolutely all the frags all day long. So now, again, in the driving seat, Intoxicated, pretty happy with this situation so far. Halfrong did not fall again, so it is still equal Uber advantage, but in these Uber v Uber fights, they just seem to be winning every single time, and with that, Morph's going to be finding a kill onto Zoic with the sticky trap, 10 seconds remaining. Now Damage Incorporated need to try and make the plays right now if they want to try and salvage something. The sticky traps from Morph going into full effect. Josh going to be finding Pingu in the end, so this is absolutely crumbling under the pressure. 3 players remaining for Damage Incorporated. There we are, first round. Going to be going to Intoxicated, and as I said, as you guys expected.
Very solid work from the soldiers there for Damage Inc. They just went in and took up so much space, I think, and gave their demo so much room to get spam in there, which is really attributing to what he did. But now we see another mid here. Good soldier aggression, very big bomb from Hyperion there, getting good damage onto the combo. At
the same time, Sianaki very weak. Can he be getting that surf round on Skaz with a big 2k? Hyperion finishes up half wrong as well. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Sianaki got out of that alive. That was a... what was that surf? He escaped on like 20 health. And now half wrong going down as well means that it's going to be a hefty advantage. We're going to start to see the suicide plays coming out for Damage Incorporated, but the question is, are they going to get past Morph's sticky traps? He's been setting them up in a few unusual areas. Zoic on Sniper as well, seeing what they can do with it. He's going to be peeking around that corner, seeing if he can get a quick little headshot, but Sianaki giving absolutely no room to breathe, just not really peeking any of these angles whatsoever. Now, this is it, the team's going to be starting to move in. They do get the pop off as the slow and steady aggression in the end that won them that engagement, and right now if Halfron can get out, which it looks like he is, they are going to have this Uber advantage to push with. I guess the only silver lining you can really take from this, if you are Intoxicated, is that they did waste a lot of time trying to get that Uber force, and they're still not getting a lot of cap time, but it looks like with those 3 frags, I think they're going to start to get this cap fairly quickly and easily.
Yeah, this is going to be the first cap we see for Damage Incorporated. They got a favourable force out from Intoxicated there, and now they're going to have this full Uber charge here, so we're going to see a fort hold coming in for them, hopefully. It's going to be interesting to see how Intox try to break it. Maybe send 2 soldiers out main and jump bats. That's what I like to do, at least, when I'm trying to break a strong fort hold. They do have the sniper up. They got Benjamin on sniper, though. Looking to peek through main, see what angle he can get.
Oh, he is looking at it. Half wrong. Might be playing on a knife's edge right now. Pingu does realise that. He's going to be trying to force them out, but ultimately it's a slow and steady game right now. Uber charges up for C Anarchy right now, so they could look to try and take a Uber v Uber exchange. See if we can get anything more favourable, but positioning from Damage Incorporated, and with that one pick onto Benjamin as well, Zoic finding that kill. Now Skaz moving in with the Pyro, trying to force them back. This is a very nice play. We do see it sometimes on the EU teams. Crowns likes to do it sometimes. Ubercharge still not popped off, but finally they are going to be going at it at the same time around this concrete side area, seeing what they can get done with it. Josh going to be finding Dream in the end, so that is a 2-player advantage so far to the Intoxicated team lineup. Halion does find the counter frag onto Hyperion, but can they still look to play this? There's a lot of damage coming into them. A lot of players weak on Intoxicated, but it looks like they are going to be coming out on top. That is unreal play with the pistols there. Picks up the 2 players. The contestation by Pingu. He's trying to get onto Sianaki. He's so weak. He's going to get put down by Benjamin in the end.
That play by Intoxicated was beautiful. That Pyro, like, he reflected a rocket right into Halfrong, and Halfrong went to about 80 health, and as a med, he's got to be thinking, like, I can't take another rocket reflect, which caused him to back up straight away, gave Intox the room to push in, and that just, even though that Pyro went down, that gave them so much space and kind of led the charge for them to come back and retake this mid.
Yeah, I'm surprised more teams don't actually try it. It is very, very good for pushing out of these points, and it's going to be Hyperion. Pingu picking up 1 kill as well, but look at those kills all coming in. Benjamin and Josh finishing them up, getting 4 kills apiece. Half wrong falling as well in the process. That's 100% Uber advantage for Anarchy. And look at this forward hold. The tides have reversed at the end of the day now. And it's a difficult situation. They're going to be building up the Uber charge as fast as they can, but they need to try and get a sack attempt. They do not have any information. In fact, Benjamin's going to be finding Halion, which is going to slow things down considerably. And right now, you've only got a minute left on the clock. You cannot afford to waste any time.
Yeah, and being on Uber disadvantage here, it's certainly going to play into their minds. They're probably thinking they got 1 good Uber, but they do see they're pushing out here. Great pressure onto the med, and the med drops that scout there, so that's really favourable for Damage Incorporated if they can get those faster spawns out and try to retake this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, at this point, they are backing off. They realise there is the Uber charge advantage on the side of Damage Incorporated. They're going to be looking to move out through that main area. Pretty much the entirety of the squad rolling out, seeing what they can get done with it. The stickies are flying, trying to get that damage in, but look at that by Skaz. Puts in so much work, and now it's up for his team to play off. They don't even realise he's behind. He gets the force into half wrong before they even realise what's going on. Such a brilliant play by Skaz there to try and get that Uber off. I can't believe that actually worked.
Beautiful play by Skaz, but good job on half wrong. Like he took a rocket, you know, mid-air after he got popped up and popped beautifully. You know, there are lots of meds out there that wouldn't right-click that fast, and it was good that he was able to hold on to that Uber charge, because it means they were able to stay in this round while Intoxicated are now just trying to get back into the point, especially now that Intox have this full Uber charge, trying to take it.
Zoic's behind. Zoic's behind when they're trying to make their move in. Anarchy is going to be forced to pop off this Uber a little bit earlier than they were anticipating. So now it is a 1-for-1 trade. And right now, this positioning by Damage Incorporated is a lot better than Intoxicated. They're basically basing them into a really unfavourable fight on that cliffside area. They are getting the frags though, as they are just feeding into them. 3 picks going their way. Goodness gracious me, Benjamin on a 5-kill streak is absolutely turning up. And now with only 9 seconds on the clock, I mean, they realise they have to make a play. It's all or nothing. Crud leaping in, leading the charge of this Uber, seeing what they can get done with it. They need to try and touch the point a little bit. Half wrong going to be shifting away from the Uber charge, but right now, can they still take this? It is currently looking pretty good for Intoxicated. They've got the positioning. The players are so weak. Half wrong, very, very low on HP. I cannot believe he's got out of that alive. 22 health, and he's regenning up. Intoxicated realise you've got no choice but to back all the way off.
Beautiful play by Damage Incorporated. They like
really
dream
nice.
this, Like he just had a med on him, and able to stave off 3 players and stay alive. And while you know he might not have killed any of those 3 players, like his presence there and his damage allowed him to keep that point, keep that cap going, and able to allow his other players to come in. We see the Uber coming in now from Intoxicated here. Beautiful Uber. Soldier going huge air shot from Halion. Oh my god, Hyperion getting rocked, but not going down.
They can't let them get this recap right now. They are 3 players up. Are they going to let them do it? They couldn't get on the point in time. That is unfortunate. They were really trying so hard to get onto it, but the heals were not there. They didn't have the players as well. So that is going to be the second round going to Intoxicated. And now it was a lot closer than we saw from the first round. So this could be the change in tides, as I like to say. This could be 180 from what we're used to be seeing, as it is going to be fight number 3 kicking off. Skaz leaps in, immediately picks up Crud, but at the same time they've dropped 2 players apiece. And can they get any more of it? Josh working his way in, seeing if he can get any magic done, but right now the positioning by Damage Incorporated much better. Pingu finds him. Benjamin does get the counter frag, and he is trying to take this fight. Pingu very, very weak, have to back all the way off. The cap is going to get slowly going their way, but right now Damage Incorporated having to back off here. Intoxicated trying to man fight it in the end, but Pingu shots 2 on piece. Benjamin takes the kill anyway, and out of damage, the players are finally about to respawn. Saz is up as well, so they can afford to try and take this fight, but the cap has finally gone in the favour of Damage Incorporated. The aggression by Intoxicated coming in. Here's the Uber charges being popped off by both sides now. Great milking by the Intoxicated gents, as they are really just playing their advantage to the highest of capabilities. Skaz leaps all the way in, getting a bit hasty there. Unfortunately, his medic could not reach him, and he is going to be falling in the end before taking one of the players down with him. But, you know, the point goes one way, immediately goes back the other.
I'm not sure if you saw what happened there with Morph, but he had his melee out, and he must have not been running view models because he was swinging it, trying to attack people, and then realised after he got a few scatterguns to the face that he'd had it out. So luckily they were able to hold on to the point then, but beautiful work by Damage Incorporated scouts there in terms of after we went 2-2 on that mid, just pressuring it back. But just a bit of spam being traded here between the 2 teams, and even Ubers, so probably Damage Incorporated looking to edge their way onto this point and see if they can get a scout, maybe capping it up for free.
Looks like they're going to do that. Haven't spotted the sticky trap. Morph finds Pingu. That was prime time for a quick 2k there. And Skaz on the back lines. He's trying to pick up Halfrong. The rocket's coming in. Not good enough. 8 HP on the man. Just about surviving. He's going to be picking up that health pack as well. And now the recap coming in. Benjamin trying to basically force them into an unfavourable fight. Hyperion leaps into the fray. Can he get these rockets off? He's going to be skirting his way around. The strafes coming out, trying to basically force them back a bit. And now the Ubercharge going to be popped off by both these teams as they look to try and take it any further. A couple of flashes coming out by Damage Incorporators. They're trying not to drop anyone, but Zoic onto Morph, Dream onto Anarchy. That's going to be no medic, no demo man. Halfrong, if he survives in this, they are going to have the Uber advantage to work off. And this is looking much, much more favourable than the first 2 rounds. But as I say, that Skaz leaps in. Is going to get taken down fairly quickly by Halion. So, wonderful plays there by the Damage Incorporated guys.
What went really well for Damage Inc. then was they had that sniper up. So we saw Skaz kind of bomb in on the backlines trying to get him, and Halion jumped back and was able to keep their sniper alive, which meant even in that Uber exchange there, in the post-Uber fight, that sniper, especially being able to sit back on those bats and have free reign, uncontested, with no soldiers jumping him, meant he was able to pick off that demo. So nice. Huge air shot from Damage Inc. then, and nice double soldier bomb though.
Yeah, they even sacked in Morph there, trying to basically get as much damage as they can. Benjamin does find Zoic. It's only a sniper pick. Not the end of the world for Damage Inc. right now. And Halfrong did survive for that Uber charge. They didn't get what they wanted from it, but now Anarchy, he's got 100% Uber, and this is where the team looks to try and make their mark on this map, seeing if they can retake it, try and end it with a Mercy Rule, a 3-0 victory as they are taking up all this territory that they're being given right now. They still have the Uber charge, not popping it off just yet. Benjamin still on Sniper, seeing if he can get a lucky pick off that might be the entry they need, but it's going to be Dream who finds the first one. Benjamin does get the counter frag in the end of the day. Halfrong getting forced out, he's dropped so many players! Hyperion and Morph, they picked up so many kills. And the Uber charge, he tried to milk it, but he just couldn't get it onto the players in time. And now it's just Crud and Halfrong, the only 2 survivors. Crud going to be trying to buy some time for his team. Halfrong getting chased down to the ends of the earth by Hyperion. He is going to get out, hopefully. Yeah, indeed he is. He's going to meet it with his team. But my goodness, what went on there?
That was this beautiful play. So what happened was that they all just clustered behind Rock then, and Morph was able to get 2 good stickies, and the rockets coming in from the soldiers there was just too much damage for them to handle, and the mids couldn't heal up all the players at once, and was kind of in that decision-making process of do I use now or do I save players, and by the time he blinked he was already gone. And you got to think about it, the pressure's got to be on Damage Inc. right now, you know, especially being 2-0 down. They can't afford to lose this round. If they lose this round, that's first map down, and that's not something you want to be in a grand final.
Benjamin on Sniper, going to be giving him a few issues. Hyperion as well, these sacks in, he gets out, gets in a bit of damage. Maybe makes them a little bit uneasy. It's working wonders for them so far. He's even picked up the Sniper. They are running Zoic every now and then. Halion going to be falling. That's no soldier now for Damage Inc. And slowly but surely the time is ticking down. They are just waiting for this Dream pick off. Zoic on Sniper might be what they need. If they can get just one player, single player, might be enough to try and work off. Well, as I say, that Uber charge is going to be coming in anyway. The sack in by Crud is going to be able to force out the Uber charge, at least on the side of Intoxicated. But can they get the kills? Morph finds 2. Dream and Halfrong falling. Josh with the follow-up. 2 players remain for Damage Incorporated. Pingu does go ham. He picks up that 1 player. Can he still get this? Anarchy in a bit of trouble there. Pingu! That's what we like to see on the 3K. He's going to get taken down in the end, but he finds the medic anyway. He's going to be happy with that one at the end of the day. But the seconds, they're ticking down right now, Oxy. It's not looking too good. However, they do have the medic advantage. They do have the heal advantage.
They do, and but we do see, you know, Intox have been very confident in their soldier DM this whole game, and especially being 2 up. I would be surprised if they try to, you know, buff both their soldiers, jump them in, really try to put a nail in the coffin here. They want to close out this round, and we see this right now. We see the soldiers looking to get a word in. This beautiful work by that scout there from Damage Inc. stopping him from coming in. But Halion falls to the Sniper of Ben, and this is going to be not great for Damage Incorporated in this fight.
They don't even have the Uber charge as well. Halfrong's been completely cut off from his team. Crud trying to buy that time, but they can't get the frags. Crud ends up finding 1 kill, finds the second one onto Skaz, and look at that, Zoic in the back lines. He's found Anarchy, and now it's Morph. The Chris Creed. Oh my goodness, Morph is going to be falling. And that, as the overtime ticks down, Hyperion, it's all up to this 1 man to try and cap it as much as he possibly can. Josh also going to be moving in, but he gets focused down so quickly. And now all they need is 1 rocket. Skaz, a last-ditch effort. He leaps in. Benjamin and the medic, Anarchy, going to be moving in, but it's far too late. And that is a round going away of Damage Incorporated. They're going to be very happy with that one.
first crits we've seen out of Damage Inc., and it was the round-saving crit, so it was the one they definitely needed. That extra damage just helped them win out that fight so much. I didn't even realize they're on crits there.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but it was really good work from them. We see another mid from them, from the two teams now.
Look at this double soldier aggression all the way in. Morph is so weak as well. Oh my god, that damage. They pick up Cyanarchy. They pick up so many players because of it. 3 down on either side, but right now it looks like the positioning is definitely more favourable for Damage Inc. Benjamin, very weak, and they can just focus down these players, but no, it's just Crud now, and Halfrong left alive, 1 man against the world. Can he get these kills? Halfrong being chased down by Josh. The players are just about to respawn. What can Crud do against so much aggression? In fact, Josh, he does find the kill in the end. The frag's coming out on top for them. Still, neither side actually getting the cap, and it looks like Damage Incorporated do not want to give it up just yet. Hyperion having to back off a little bit. Skaz leaping in, seeing what he can get done. Zoic does find him.
That was a beautiful surf by Halfrong there. Sorry to cut you off there, but that was beautiful.
That's right.
He was able to jump out and keep that overcharge, which I really need.
That is going to be the cap, at least going Damage Incorporated's way. It seems that the more these rounds go on, the more they're sort of fixing their mistakes that have been kicking off, if you like, and starting to really claw it back. Would you put that down to the factor of tilting, or is it Damage Incorporated learning on the go?
Probably Hallian coming into the team. You know, he did mention that he's not their core pocket, especially on a map like Via, where your pocket usually displays as the roamer anyway. So it's probably them just trying to work out, you know, their kind of positioning and trying to sort out how Intoxicated would want to play this, especially. You know, if you play against Intox, you know, they're very, you know, soldier heavy, so they're probably just filling out how they want to play against those two soldiers.
Well, Intoxicated looking to do the slow and steady push, trying to basically force out the Uber charge. Eventually they are going to get both popped off. Few players weak. Dream finds Josh. That could be one crucial pickup that they needed. Hallian finds Morph as well. They're all going their way. 3 picks now for Damage Incorporated. It's not looking good for Intoxicated. And if they get caught out of position here, Cyanarchy, which it looks like they are, as he's completely caught in the corner. Dream and Pingu going to be finishing him up. Pistol whipping him down. Not good so far for Intoxicated. The timer is currently ticking down quite heavily now. Only about 1 minute 40 left on the clock for Damage Incorporated to really work off here. Don't have much time left. Intoxicated to move in, and Halfrong with the Uber charge advantage as well.
Yeah, I think the problem is Skaz is trying to get behind, and I think the first few rounds it really worked for him, but now that Damaging are kind of onto his game, you know, if you play against a team enough and they keep trying to send a player behind to kind of bring your scouts back or try to, you know, force a pick out, you kind of know their game. And
wow.
Beautiful work from Damaging here. Denying that push out.
Completely denying it. Oh my goodness. And Hyperion, these rockets by Hallian. Turning up Pingu. That was a mini end. Going to be picking up that frag. Brilliant stuff denying that suicide wave. And with that being said, Halfrong, he does have the Uber charge. Cyanarchy as well. He's just about to get it. But right now, a minute on the clock. And it's definitely all in favour of Damage Incorporated. Benjamin Umpire are going to be looking to try and push them out. I don't know if that's the play. Skaz now on heavy as well. They're going to be popping off the supercharge pretty early. Dream finds Morph. No demo man for Intoxicated. Could be absolutely huge. And as Benjamin's going to be falling to Dream as well, it's not looking good for Intoxicated. They're dropping players like flies now. 3 players down. Zoic finds Skaz. Absolutely crushing them in the process. Hyperion so weak around that corner. Josh does save him in the nick of time, and the arrow's going to be coming out, keeping him nice and healthy. So right now, this could be the play. They're moving all the way in. Zoic finds Cyanarchy though in the back lines. No medic. And right now they're still trying to play this. Morph does manage to find Halfrong. No medic for Damage Incorporated, so that might be their saving grace. But oh my goodness, this damage is ridiculous. Benjamin versus Crud. He's going to be happy with that. Having to back off, he is quite weak, but oh my goodness.
That was a crazy snipe by Zoic. Sorry to cut you off, but he was on top of Rock on their side and just, like, he was getting spammed out and just scoped in once and domed their med. Like, that was a beautiful play by him. That is a round-saving play for him. And with the time in Damage Incorporated's favour, I can easily see them clinching this round out here.
Yep, they definitely got the momentum. They're going to be getting this cap up fairly shortly. Eating a bit of damage. Dream has to back off, try and go for that health pack. A few players out of the fight so far. Pingu just playing ring of roses right now with the entirety of the enemy team. He is going to get taken down by Ben in the end. And now Hyperion moving in for the kill, trying to get this rocket damage in, but they're so close. They're just getting absolutely crushed with all these sack attempts. Dream finds those kills, and now they're trying to play the point to the best of their abilities. Crits is going to be falling. Crits Kree going to be popping off fairly shortly. Here it comes, Hallian! Finds 2, finds 3. Benjamin, one of the last remaining survivors. The overtime ticking down. Benjamin and Hyperion now, it's all on their shoulders to try and stop this in the bud. Hyperion leaps in. Benjamin gets absolutely made into mincemeat, and that is going to make it 2-all. What a game so far. Map number 1 has been absolutely ridiculous.
That was rough for Sianaki. If he was able to pop that Uber off, like obviously he didn't know they were on crits, but if he popped that, he would have been able to block the point, maybe get players in, maybe hold on to that round just a little bit, but he dropped that Uber and ended up just sealing the deal.
Look at his aggression now coming in. Hallian immediately jumping into the backlines. Great surf by Sianaki, but it's all for naught as 2 picks are already going away. Hyperion and Skaz, the double soldier aggression not working out too well for them. And look at all this damage as well. Benjamin being forced to back off. He's going to be waiting for that arrow, but as you're doing that, he's standing still. Pingu just walks up to him and pings him twice in the head. Not going to be getting away with that one, not today. And with that being said, once again, it's going to be going to Damage Incorporated.
Yeah, we do see Damage Incorporated on that big Uber charge ad. So let's just see how they do it. They were really good with their foothold before, just denying the push out from Intox. And, you know, when it's 2-2 now, you know, Intox are going 2-0. Now it's 2-2. Like, the pressure's got to be behind them. This has got to be getting in their head. You know, they were so close to clinching it out. And now it's just looking like they're just on the back foot again.
Absolutely, 100% Uber. They're going to be moving in, seeing if they can make any magic happen. Skaz wants to lead the charge all the way into the back lines. He's on half wrong. He gets the force. Unreal stuff by that man. And that could be the play that their team needed now. They can play patiently, waiting and hiding as long as Sianaki survives. He is going to for now. He is in that spawn, building up that Uber charge, 95%. And now they're just going to wait for the spawners. This is beautiful for them. Intoxicated are in a pretty good position to try and retake this. The players have just about respawned. Morph going to be coming up now as well. And the passive hold so far for Damage Incorporated. They realise they do not have the Uber charge advantage. They call where they're coming from. Hallian gets that early information, if you like. Spots where they are going to be coming from as they look to try and work their way in, wiggling their way in. A lot of damage being taken so far. Crud putting in a lot of work. Overcharge now going to be popped off by them. They pick up 1. Can they get any more though? That's the question. Hallian finds off Hyperion. In fact, they pop off the Uber, but they end up losing loads of players. 4 down now as Crud finds Josh, and that push, it was looking so good, but what went wrong in that situation there?
It wasn't even looking like a good push, to be honest. I don't know, like, personally, as a med main and as a main caller, I really don't like what Intoxicated just did there. They grinded in spawn, which means, A, they gave up time on the clock, so they were banking on a good Uber push, which they didn't get. And then by the time he popped it off and reached mid, Halfrong already had his Uber, which he hasn't even used yet. So even if they use their Uber to take mid, Halfrong's going to use his Uber and he's going to leapfrog it back. Like, they gave up so much time then, banking on a play, which just didn't work out for them. And it's too much risk, especially on a map like Via. Like, they've probably just lost themselves around there, in my opinion, because they just spent too much time doing it.
Sorry to cut you off, guys, but in that play, who was it? Zoic came in from behind as they were pushing in, and he managed to pick up 3, including Sianaki in that push. So even though Halfrong got forced out, it's still Uberad in favour of Damage Inc.
Zoic had a bit of a nutty play there. It is going to be Intoxicated taking the cap, at least for now, the first time in this round, and they have got a mighty mountain to climb up with 30 seconds left on the side of Damage Incorporated. They are going to be happy to take this slowly, play off the enemy's mistakes, and I think at this point, if you were 2 rounds up, is the tilt start to play a factor a little bit?
Well, it's 2-2. Whoever takes this round wins. So
absolutely, yeah.
I think, and with the time advantage, you got to be looking on Damage Inxing. You know, like, it's 40 seconds to build an Uber charge. Say essentially you have 3 free Uber builds to get this push right or get it wrong.
Right now, they popped off both the Uber charges. Hallian moving in, gets off 3 beautiful rockets onto Morph. Not going to be bringing them down just yet, but the players are very, very weak. Zoic in the back lines picks up 2. Sianaki going to be falling as well. It looks like it was nice moving for a while. It's not going to be saving him, but yeah, with that 30 seconds down, Halfrong, he has the Uber advantage. They're going to need a miracle to try and come back from this right now. Hyperion is moving his way in, seeing, peeking, gets the information. Right now, you need to stay calm, collected, and I think a lot of individual play needs to come out if they want to try and salvage this. With only the winner of this going to be winning map number 1. Skaz moves in, Dream finds the kill onto Josh. That's not what they need if they want to try and come back from this. Pingu finds Skaz, dropping a few players, dropping all the players, it seems like. Benjamin, one of the only saving graces for his team as he tries to work his way in, but he's so weak. Pingu finds that kill with almost no issues whatsoever. The overtime is clocked down. Morph, 1 man against the world. He's trying to leap around, he's trying to contest it, but it's not going to be enough. And what was that map? From 2-0 to 3-2. What in God's name?
Hallian, I don't know. Just Damage Incorporated just managed to come back and just and we see a bit of BM coming out between the two teams. But
My
it's just,
God.
I don't know if it was mind games, but it seemed like they executed play. It kind of just Damage Incorporated the first 2 rounds. I just felt like they were just kind of learning the other team and really kind of feeling it out. But I still feel like there were things that didn't work for Intoxicated coming into those final 3 rounds. They kept kind of doing and not changing up. And then it just kind of came back to bite them. Like, even in that last push, like in the last 30 seconds, like, Josh was just like gobbling around behind. Like, sure, you know, you can maybe go in and try to kill the med, but in a situation like that, when you're on such a big uber disadvantage, you need all players in on that team fight. And, you know, he was only coming in when there was like about 10 seconds on the clock, and that's just kind of too little too late.
What I saw from this was going into it in the first 2 rounds, I'm looking at this and being a bit of a Damage Inc. fanboy, I'm shaking my head. They just looked like they were in all sorts of shambles, and it looks like that Intoxicated had really come in with a plan. They were playing really well, and they were playing off each other really well. But what Damage Inc. managed to do was they managed to shut down that Skaz flank, which was causing them so much trouble because he'd repeatedly jump behind. The scouts really started showing up, as did Crud, and that was such a clutch turnaround, man. That was a great map.
Especially like
the damage.
Zoic as a utility. I think his adaptability was really like what really shined for them as well. We saw I think it was Hyperion sniping a little bit for Damage Incorporated. I mean, for Intoxicated. But Zoic was, you know, like he was changing off, you know, from soldier to sniper. And when he was sniping, he was having a real impact in the game in terms of his space that he was taking and what he was doing. I felt like he was really adaptable. Like if it wasn't working, he was switching off it straight away.
These logs, are you guys seeing this
I'm seeing this right now. Look at it, both Demo Men, Morph top damaging, Crud second top damaging, both above 10k. That is disgusting.
It's the heals as well that you want to look at as well, because Crud received the majority of his team's heals, and yet he still came second at the damage. Morph took substantially less, almost 1.5k less heals, and still comes out on top. What would you guys pin that down to? He had more deaths, bear in mind, but not damage. Whew.
I think one thing worth noting, sorry to just totally slightly disregard what you said, is look at the med death stats. Halfrong only died 5 times. That's only 1 time around, and on product, that's really solid medic play coming out from him there. I'm pretty sure there was 1 round in there where he did not die once, as opposed to Anarchy's 11. Really good med play from Halfrong.
I'll tell you what, some of these plays, it feels like sometimes there's a better quality of gameplay than current EU Prem, because that was pretty nutty. Like, that was really good. It just seemed like everyone was on the same page, even when they're playing with mercs and things. You can definitely tell these guys are putting the work in, as you mentioned, scrimming a lot. They do. I imagine they do demo reviews as well. You can really tell that they know how to play off each other's strengths and weaknesses pretty well. The double soldier aggression as well particularly worked out really well. But I mean, I mentioned it earlier in the cast. How much of a factor do you think, being 2 rounds up, Intoxicated, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They start losing the first round, and they start to lose the second. At that point, do you know if these guys are prone to the tilt? Or would that be a big factor?
I would say that they definitely are. I want to believe, for their sake and for the sake of this grand final, that they're able to get straighten up, fly right, and come good. And for this second map, because as Oxy's been alluding to, they like their solis over on Intoxicated. So Gran being the most soli heavy map in the entire world, as I'm sure Pingu will, as I'm sure Elmo will attest to in chat. He loves this map. It's yeah, I think if they can get their solis and get them to be really in this game, then they're definitely a good chance of coming back and equalising this series. But if they have got it in their head, if they've got we've thrown this away, this is a heartbreak map. But yeah, if it's in their head, I reckon that this is going to be really a bit of a sad story going into Gran for Intoxicated.
I don't necessarily think it's tilt. Like, I think not tilt in the way that you guys are talking about. I think there's that mindset that I think a lot of players have, and I am one of the most guilty players of having this, is when you're playing players who've had a story like Damage Inc. instead of, you know, coming into this season and, you know, getting 0-5s by teams that, you know, came 5th or 4th, and then coming into the finals after you've kind of worked hard all season. When you get beaten, when you've been playing for so long, and, like, you know, as Intoxicated have been playing for several seasons, when you get beaten by a team like this, that's just kind of up and coming. There's a sense of pride. You almost feel like you've got more experience than these kind of teams, and you feel like you should be winning. So I don't think it's tilting. I think it's more that they kind of like you get very flustered by that. Whether it's
sense of pride.
Yeah, it's a sense of pride. They feel like they were 2 up and they were so confident, and now to come back from that, I feel like they kind of, it's not that you're tilting, it's that you feel like you should be winning, and that really plays into your mindset of affecting your play.
I absolutely agree, but hopefully they are able to channel that productively and use that to get some serious fragging going on Granary Map 2. Oxy, what do you reckon, the map pick, what do you reckon this means for the teams? Who do you think this would favour?
I think given how the first map went, it's more likely, I think a map like this and a map like Product are one of those kind of maps that once a team gets a real small lead, it's really easy to kind of hold on to that. And I feel like I would expect Damage Incorporated to play this like very slowly. And then once they get like a two round lead, they'll just like stall it out really hard. And it's like, as an opposing team, when you kind of reach that point on the clock when it's 3-0 up and it's like 5 minutes left or 10 minutes left in the round, and you kind of think you can't do it anymore, like that's the way like you kind of win these kind of games. That's how I find anyway, and especially it being the second map pick.
That said, though, for those of you who caught the ozfortress Prem semi-final, I believe it was, against the Yauch team, against the Hertz team, whose names I've just both blanked on, we saw one of the craziest last-minute comebacks I have ever seen on this map against Hertz's team, who were up. Yeah. They were up with 30 seconds left to go. They were up by a round, and they managed to force the golden cap going into mid with 30 seconds left, and so it's possible to bring some crazy quick rounds onto this map, as much as everyone doesn't really think it is, being such a long, elongated, choky map, but it can definitely happen. So I'm not going to count anyone out at any point in this, because we've both got quality players, got really strong soldiers on Intoxicated, and I reckon they're going to put in some work, and I want a third map, so I'm going to say Intoxicated are going to take this just off the pure Soli power.
Okay.
I think Damage Incorporated are going to run a permanent spy and trick stab every single person on Intoxicated throughout the map and probably take it. Because I feel like this map itself is one of those ones, it's a big spy map. If you can do it. Like in all seriousness, I think we'll probably see a bit more crazy off-classing here, but we do see the map coming in to it itself.
Alright. Countdown has begun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Being called. We're going into map number 2 of the ozfortress Season 16 Intermediate Finals. It's the Grand Finals, of course. The winner of this is going to be getting into Prem, I'm assuming. And it's going to be between Intoxicated and Damage Incorporated. Damage Incorporated took map number 1, which was Intoxicated pick, which is very important to note, whereas we're going into Granary, which is Damage Incorporated's pick. So really the odds stacked against them right now as they're trying to go into this. And we already see Skaz on Spy. The calls, you predicted this.
Oh my god.
Is this it? Is this they're going to be trying to tilt them from the get-go? Is this what they needed to do? And they're going to be trying to go for the kill down. They get spotted in the end, just in the nick of time, and they're already 3 players down. It's Benjamin and Hyperion trying to make some plays happen. Yauch going to be falling. Benjamin, he could go huge here. No, Crud's going to be finding him in the end. Now Hyperion with the shotgun going to be making these plays happen. The Uber charge has been popped off. Josh going to be falling to Crud. Crud putting in a lot of work with these stickies, in fact. So this is going to be the cap at least going their way. And as Siaki is only just respawning, I mean, it's going to be pretty much equal Uber charge, unless Half Wrong is going to start arrow building or something. But yeah, I mean, Skaz, spy to mid. I'll tell you what, we saw it in I-58. Crowns did it in process in their golden cap. Sometimes you need to do something wacky like that. You need to do something that they will just never anticipate to try and set the pace of the game and put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. So I don't know, it's interesting to see, but they're trying to sack in a few players here. Morph does find Pingu. Not the death they wanted, I think, trying to play off the momentum that they've just accrued. But this is Granary. It is quite difficult to push into, but it looks like they're trying to do it anyway.
Yeah, that was some bloody big boy plays from Crud there on the mid there, in terms of being able to hold that on for his team. But looking just a bit of spam being traded here. Minor Uber ad for Half Wrong, so maybe going to try to look to bust out. But they are giving Intoxicated yard, and Intoxicated taking space on mid here as well.
Oh my god, they're eating so much damage as well. Hallian falls to a rogue rocket by Scorch. More! with the 2k onto Pingu and Dream. The Ubercharge now going to be popped off, but can they get the kills? Morph is going to be falling. But Hyperion, Josh and Scans just waiting patiently like a python in the dark. Waiting for their prey. Crud! How does he get these trades? You see him in these situations. He should not be getting away with this. Now Zoic moves into that garage area. Not going to be finding that kill onto Cyanarchy like he hoped. But right now, they're moving all the way in once again, getting this damage in. Really just trying to run down Cyanarchy. So weak. They're going to be getting a force off Pingu. Brilliant work by him. And now they can just back off patiently, waiting for the Ubercharge to fade and see if they can try and retake the fight now as they're looking to move into the point. As I'm saying that, they are getting the frags. It looks like a lot of kills going their way. Incorporated with 3 kills. Currently, Hafrong trying to basically get those arrows off. Brilliant clutch arrows by him. Bringing Zoic up to quite a large amount of health. Longer than he was anticipating, I think. He didn't unfortunately get a kill from it, but now they are waiting patiently. Hafrong does have a hefty Uber advantage to work off, guys. What do we make of this?
He has the Uber ad, but they had 2 soldiers down, and Intox should get the fastest spawners. So I initially thought I take back what I said. I thought Intox was probably going to be able to take yard, but with this Uber ad, they're just going to be able to probably hold yard. I don't know if they're going to want to push out with it. The fort hold from Intox here is going to force them really early, and that's probably not what they wanted. They do pop here, but I'm suspecting Intox is going to get right out and retain their Uber advantage and try to repush, leapfrog it.
There we are, yeah. Straight away, Benjamin is hiding in the back, currently, just waiting patiently. We've seen it before. Pingu realises this. They are basically pre-spamming these corners with rockets, stickies, all sorts. Benjamin just wants to wait patiently for his time to strike. But they do know he is there. So, moving in, seeing what he can get done. The team are trying to take yard currently. They've spotted him. Pingu trying to take the 1v1. Benjamin eats the first rocket. Is he going to get the second one? There we go. Pingu finishes him up, but more for the follow-up onto Zoic. It's a nice sacking attempt, and now they're trying to play this through the garage area, meeting them head on. They have the Uber charge. Finally going to be popping it off here. Hafrong, he's so close to having it. They just need to survive for a little bit longer now. Pingu, he's probably calling, get the hell back. I've almost got the Uber charge. We can try and retake this. Hyperion now doesn't want to try and let this happen. The back cap, you mentioned it.
He's going to get it.
Spot it. No way. He's actually got it. He's not going to get out alive, though, but that has bought so much time for his team. That's absolutely incredible play by Dream.
Beautiful back cap there, buying so much room for his team, and his team are going to come in, especially with Hafrong with this Uber charge. They're going to be able to take this, they're going to be able to take control here. Cyanarchy's in such a bad position right now. He's definitely going to lose his life for this. Their demo's on mid as well. They're going to have to stop this cap.
Rotating all the way around, yeah. You said it here. Right now, they're going to be able to get this cap. Hallion moves in, trying to get that damage in. And now as well, Dream moving into them. Pingu, the dynamic duo of scouts are just going to be cleaning them up with absolutely zero issues. And then it didn't even get the cap off. Hyperion is spotted. Just wanders into the mouth of the beast, the belly of the beast, I should say. And right now, Damage Incorporated looking to try and retake this second point if they can. Capping it up slowly but surely. Intoxicated realise they cannot make any plays happen here. And we already see Skaz on Sniper.
Just going to see the, just to grind out for Damage Incorporated. Probably going to see the Scout sack in, most likely. Try to come up Sniper, see what they can do. We do have the Sentry Gun being built by Intoxicated in that back right, that stock standard Sentry spot. And we have a Skaz sniping that right door, trying to get an angle in, but they're probably not going to give him any room to snipe anyone. And we do see the rotation lunchbox. They're going to want to Uber in from top here.
Yeah, this is big already. Going to be popping off this Uber charge. Moving all the way in. This level 3 Sentry Gun, however, pushing a few players back. They need to try and bring it down. Crud does focus it down, but he's 2 picks going away of Intoxicated right now. The point is starting to get played about Pingu now, but half the players weak on the side of Intoxicated. Can they get the damage in? It doesn't look like it's going to be possible unless Crud can turn up big time. And it's not going to be happening. Not today. Pingu backs off, realises it's all really pretty much futile to try and contest that. And it was...
We do see Spy.
It was a sticky attempt.
We've got Zoic on Spy here. Up in Lunchbox. Okay. Let's see what he can do. Any big trick stabs?
I mean, right now... Okay, Skaz is there. He might get eyes on him. No, he is in Viz. He doesn't realise it. So he could try and go for the back cap, pull a few players back, and for his team to play off it. But right now... Pretty much all of Intoxicated are moving through garage right now. They want to try and take this fight. They've got the Uber charge advantage, popping it off pretty early on. Dream does find Josh. Hyperion moving in. Finds the kill onto Hafrong. No medic now for the Danger Incorporated gents. And still, these plays not working out for them. Zerk falls. The Spy plays Not working out too well. Crud somehow finds a kill in the midst of all this, and Pingu as well. Crud! The damage!
God damn.
Oh my god.
Crud went huge then, but Pingu did the groundwork. Pingu paved that road that Crud walked on to victory. Like, he was able to do so much damage to those two players in a 1v2 and was able to just secure that for his team so much.
Absolutely nuts. And now the second point is going to be capped up here by Damage Incorporated. And they're going to be happy with this. They got a Ubercharge advantage as well. Sianaki holding up top quite close. Maybe they want to try and contest this. They are sacking in 2 soldiers from that upper side area, getting the heals in. And getting forced all the way back by Hallie and holding that lunchbox area very, very strongly. And now they've got a few players around, hovering around the second point, seeing what they can get done. They're going to be moving in already, peeking around the corner, seeing what they've got. Can't see a sentry, can't see a sniper. Now they're opting to move all the way in, but they need to be quick here. Sianaki, he's almost got the Uber charge coming in, just about missing the air shot onto Skraz, and finally they're going to be popping it off. Much better Uber coming out by them, but Crud with the follow-up picks up 2. Dream has fallen, however, can they still do this? Crud going absolutely ham with the 5 kill streak, but he's a man out of position. Morph going to be finding him half wrong with the arrow. 2 men now trying to defend this. It's not going to be doable. Round number 1 going away to Damage Incorporated, and it took a bit of work. You know, I'm not gonna say it was easy for them, but they were definitely looking pretty comfortable throughout the entirety of that round.
Something to look at on these mids is I've noticed that Morph uses an extra sticky compared to Crud and takes more damage, but he hits his pack first. If he hits the rollout, which he hasn't done this time, but what he's been doing is been using an extra sticky, hitting his pack first, and then denying Crud his pack. So a very interesting demo rollout between these two.
Already mid-fight number 2 kicking off. We see Skaz going in for that high ground. He does get the trade. Pingu falls in the end. A 1-for-1. Zoic dying for Skaz. But can they get any more? That's the question. Pingu does fall to Benjamin. And with that being said, I think they are going to have to back all the way out here. Josh already moving forward, seeing what he can get. He's going to be getting that early damage in, or at least trying to, but he is taking a lot as well from the spam. And right now, Crud might be a little bit too far forward here. Morph, he might be able to get an angle. No, not quite. Couldn't get the stickies off in time, so Crud is going to get out alive. Josh also going to be feeding into them. That's one pick you can't really afford to be giving up here, and they're going to be trying to take the fight straight to them. Uber charge gets popped off. Sianaki also going to be popping off his on the point, and they're losing a few players in the back line here, but it's a bit of a messy, bit of a scrappy fight currently kicking off. Morph trying to see if he can wiggle his way in. The damage is definitely there as he absolutely obliterates Pingu. And right now, Damage Incorporated in a bit of a sticky situation. They are getting sandwiched currently from this lunchbox side. Skaz is quite weak, so he can't really play this point, but currently I think it's looking a little bit more favourable for Damage Incorporated as they have fended off this aggression for now.
They've fended off this aggression, but you got to think about the way Granary plays. It's going to be so hard for them to push out here. They've basically relegated themselves to a last hold, essentially. Unless one of their soldiers go huge, or like Intoxicated make a huge mistake here, it's literally just going to be the same thing. Intoxicated are going to use their Uber to take second, Damage Inc. can be put on last, and it's going to cycle it over and over and over again until they get a favourable last push. Which is one of the big problems with Granary, in my opinion. Well, one of the reasons that most people don't like Granary anyway. It's hard to push out from, especially in this situation. They're going to have to go for a really good solo, or something bad's going to have to happen.
Already. Just holding for now. 100% Uber for both these teams. Still, Damage Incorporated with this 1 round advantage. They're happy to just hold on for now, but they are on the back foot currently. Holding onto their side of the map. And the spam just being exchanged. Neither side wanted to commit just yet. We haven't seen any off classes so far, apart from Skaz on mid, and now they look like they want to move for the lunchbox area, but a big wraparound of 2016 through that Z area, seeing what they can get done with it. Skaz might be falling, indeed he does. They're just absolutely falling to pieces, and now the Uber charge going to be popped off by Intoxicated, seeing what they can get done, seeing what magic they can work. They do find 1 kill onto Zoic, who was out of position. And the Uber charge still in Half-Wrong's hands, but they've dropped so many players here. Can they get anything done still with it? Pingu going to be trying to pop it off here with the Uber charge on him. Does find the 1 kill onto Hyperion, but is there any more to be had? Morph just about misses a sticky drop. God, he decimated them. 2 kills going away. Benjamin and Morph going to be falling. And that is huge for them. Skaz now leaping in. They don't actually realise he's there. He's getting off some big rockets. He finds Half-Wrong. Oh my God, how does that happen? Pingu does bring him down, but Just when you thought it was all over for them, Skaz just pulls out a play like that, just out of nowhere. Josh now trying to take the fight to them. They realise the team is there, falling very weak. Zoic moving into the back lines, getting a lot of damage off into Sianaki, backing them off very, very early on by Hyperion with the quick 2k. Hallion follows it up with the kill onto the Demoman, but can he do much more? He's pinned into the corner like a trapped animal in a cage, and unfortunately for them, they are going to be losing that mid-fight for now. So that was going all over the place. If it wasn't for that play by Skaz, that could have been a completely different scenario.
Yeah, beautiful work by Crud there in terms of just getting the beautifully placed stickies, and even on that mid-fight after their med went down, he was doing such good damage, able to help his team get out there. And just, we're going to see a hold from Yauch here. We just see the Uber coming in now from Intoxicated. They can't really get any picks with it though.
Oh.
We see Halfron going down. That's bad news bears for Intoxicated. I mean, for Damage Incorporated here.
And they're still going to be trying to take this fight. Somehow they find Benjamin and Sianaki, Pingu and Dream turning up, saving their team from the clutches of despair. And honestly, they're looking pretty good right now. Dream follows it up as well. These scouts are incredibly strong on Damage Incorporated. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you predicted that it was going to be the scouts on Intoxicated. Don't get me wrong, Benjamin and Josh, they have been playing well. But they normally you expect the soldiers to be the driving force. But I mean, I can't fault either side, to be honest. They have been playing absolutely mentally, but Damage Incorporated just coming out on top, it seems, in these engagements, even when it seems unfavourable, even when they pick off the medic, it seems that somehow they turn the situation all the way around.
Can I interrupt for a second? We've got Zoic on heavy in Garage right now, as well as crits on half wrong.
Okay.
I've seen this play from them. I've been on the receiving end of this in scrims. It's horrible to play against, but I'm calling it now. We're going to see crits heavy very soon, but they do have the sniper on Josh, so that might be a direct counter, who knows.
Is this going to be the crits heavy moving out? These laser beams across the map. Indeed it is. They're going to be popping it off, but he can't quite get the angle. In fact, I think they popped it off a little bit too early there. They're seeing what they can get done with it. Josh falling very weak. In fact, the Uber charge going to get flopped off there. Going to be popped off, I should say, onto multiple players. Morph does find Zoic in the end, but now can they still replay this? Hallion getting the high ground. Is he going to get Sianaki? He does. He picks up 2 unreal plays, and now Dream with the follow-up finds 2 as well. A complete team wipe. And now, my goodness, they are really looking to drive it home all the way. Crud moving all the way forward, trying to get off that early damage. Half wrong, trying to play the point a little bit preemptively, but Pingu on the point. The cap time is enough. 2-0 is the scoreline. Damage Incorporated. My God.
Those are some bloody big boy plays by Hallion there, to be honest. And you were saying, the scouts for Damage Incorporated doing well. I think they just clean-up's a lot better. I think you can't... The back work being done by these 2 soldiers in terms of the damage, like their scouts are doing beautiful clean-up, but the damage from these soldiers cannot be discounted in terms of Hallion has been doing so much damage this round, this whole game.
Oh yeah, no, he's been a huge driving force, and it just goes to show how much of a high-impact map Granary can be if it's in the right hands. And right now they're trying to take this fight forward. Dream has fallen. Skaz now going to get the wraparound. He's not going to be able to get the kill. In fact, Crud's going to be finding Hyperion as well. But at the same time, it definitely looks like the frags are going the way of currently Damage Incorporated, I want to say. Indeed it is, as Zoic just picks him up with a quick 1-2, finds the 2 kills. Both medics did fall, however, so it's not going to be uber advantage for either side. But it's definitely a better situation. Slowly, it does feel like Intoxicated are trying to get a bit of a grasp on this game. But is it going to be too late right now? We are 15 minutes into this game, and it is a 2-round deficit so far for Intoxicated.
It's got to be in their heads, as well as we've already seen Half Wrong engineering like an Uber advantage here. Could it possibly be a crit? No, it is an Uber charge, but he has got an Uber advantage. I don't think he knows it, but. With the mid cap, we do see Intoxicated trying to push in deep left here. They're really committing to wanting to go in dry here and see what they can get.
Well, they are going to be picking up Dream in the end. Let's see if they can get any other frags coming out from them. They are getting forced into this corner. Benjamin finds 1, but Zoic with the counter frags coming out. Can they force these players down? No, that is the question. Zoic is waiting for that arrow. He is going to finally get it, and now the Uber charge going to be popped off just in the nick of time. Sianaki needs to try and get out. He is on 88%. It's a very sticky situation for him. Hallion moving in. Surely not a second time. He finishes up Morph, but now Sianaki might be in a very difficult situation here. Zoic just waiting around the corner, trying to get the rockets off. Not going to be happening. He baits them like an absolute professional. And Dream and Half Wrong do get the cleanup duty. as they do finish up the few stragglers left alive. But Sianaki, if he can get out alive here without popping off the Uber, no, he's going to be forced to pop it off, and he is going to be able to put it on his teammate now, seeing what they can lead it in. But currently the positioning by Damage Incorporated is far too superior for them to try and get anything out of it. As I say that, Pingu does feed into them, one player, and Crud going to be falling as well to Hyperion, so this could be a turn of events.
Beautiful work by Dream there, like being able to secure that mid fight, and then it only was, you know, Sianaki, which meant he was able to get to force in yard there. So that was beautiful work by Dream.
Absolutely. Now Zoic does find that one kill onto Morph. No Demo Man. I think that should, I mean, most teams would be stunted really in any push attempt. In fact, yeah, we already see them backing all the way off. They realise it is pretty much futile. And, well, it is a huge Uber advantage as well for Hafrong. Currently moving in. He's got the medigun ready and waiting. However, Sianaki is building up his as well. Benjamin trying to get his kills off. They are going to be popping off this Uber maybe a little bit earlier than they are anticipating. But Skaz is going to be the next casualty. Indeed, he is. 2 kills going away. 15-second respawn timers on both of them. The cap is going to slowly go their way. But now Sianaki, they are an opportunity to try and replay this if they so wish. But in this situation, do you just play off this man advantage? Do you just roll deep in?
It's such a large last, you've got to, like, especially with 2 rounds up, the mind games are going to be in on them. They do have the soldier spawners now, so they maybe should have moved on a bit faster, but...
They're going off it anyway. They have picked up a few kills. Hallian leaps in, but immediately, as you called it, it was a little bit too late. They backed off as they realised the fight was not going in a direction they wanted it. So, Benjamin now leading the charge, going all the way in. Crud is very, very caught out of position. He's going to be falling. I held my breath for a second then, because I've seen some miracle stuff coming out from him this game, so I didn't want to count him out just yet, but he does end up falling anyway. So now only 3 players holding this mid fight. I think they might be getting caught out of position here as the entirety of Intoxicated are moving all the way around them. Hafrong getting spammed out by these rockets from above. Benjamin finds Dream. Can they get the damage though? Absolutely collapsing onto them. Indeed they can. Destroying them, in fact. My god, it's almost a full team wipe. In fact, Crud only just surviving because he's just got the respawners. Oh my goodness, Intoxicated. If they come back from this, honestly, it's absolutely... What can you say? What can you say? To turn it around, not even on their map pick as well, after that crushing defeat on the first map, you gotta commend them for it. And it looks like currently they are in the driving seat, 100% Uber. Looking to take it through this left-hand side. Moving it in slowly for now. There is a sentry gun. There is a heavy. Sentry gun is only level 1 so far. Not popping it off just yet. Finally they do. Sentry gun is going to be falling. Pingu now needs to try and focus down this heavy. And that's the only thing they can really do. Indeed, they do bring him down. Josh finds one. Crud and Dream, however, with the follow-up collapsing onto them. This pushing attempt looks like it's just falling into dust in their hands. Absolutely crumbling under the pressure. Sianaki completely caught out of position. Zoa going to be finding him. And, I mean, now the stars were aligning for them. It looks like it was so favourable, but they just couldn't get the kills, and they just could not focus down the players in time, it feels like.
If I had $1 for every time Crud hit a pipe or hit a stick in that last defense, I would be a significantly richer man. That was absolutely insane coming out of him. He just did so much damage and single-handedly held that off for his team.
Well, this is going to be Uber advantage for Damage Incorporated. Still, 2 rounds up, remember. It is Intoxicated in blue that are currently on the back foot. They do need to start to make a move, start thinking about the plays ahead, maybe 1 step ahead. But already this mid-fight starting to get moved in on by Damage Incorporated, just really bullying them out with sheer presence. Morph does find Pingu. 1 pick could be the turn that they need, but as it stands, not really wanting to make any plays happen. Crud almost picked up a kill there onto Hyperion, but he is just about to get out alive. And Sianaki almost has his Uber charge, so... And this is going to be interesting. Right now, both teams are just going to be lying in wait. Just, can you... I mean, right now, if you are, guys, if you're Damage Incorporated, you're going to be happy just sitting here, aren't you?
Yeah,
9 times out of 10.
I've been in this situation. Last season, my team was in the exact same thing. We're in our bronze match. Final map was this one. And it's just that kind of case that... When it's 2-0, you've still got that kind of belief, especially with 9 minutes in your head. Like, you know, for Intoxicated, they've probably still got that belief that they can still do it. If it was 3-0, probably the same situation. But the longer that Damage Inc. sit here, the more that the hope is fading for Intoxicated to kind of pull these rounds out. You know, especially on a map like Granary. Yeah. You know how long it takes for a round. And Damage Incorporated are more than happy to sit here because they know that it's going to be demoralizing their opponents so much every minute. But we do see the Uber kind of being forced out between the two here. Hyperion does fall, and the players are pretty weak at the moment for Intox, so this isn't looking too good for them, especially with being 1 player down. Damaging probably going to want to move off this, but Crud goes down.
Absolutely. Morph's damage really coming out on top there. 3 players currently down now for Damage Incorporated. Pingu looks like he wants to try and take the fight anyway, taking a fight straight to him. In fact, he's got the heals, but the damage is a little bit too overpowering for him. He is going to have to back off from that one now. Intoxicated, once again, putting them onto the back foot. They are going to be capping up this midpoint for now. The Sticky's being sent absolutely everywhere, and they just want to make sure nobody is around. Morph, does he... What's he doing here? Does he think that there's someone behind? He's just sort of spamming Stickies around, but it is going to be the mid-fight 1. It's going to be the mid-capped. But there's 100% Uber on half wrong, and as I've mentioned again, 8 minutes remain now on the clock. Time is against them. They really need to step it into gear, get a move on, try and create these plays. Is it crits? They're playing a bit aggressive. No, it's just medi again.
Yeah, it's medi on both teams, and they're probably just trying to look to see. I suspect them to probably buff hype. Oh, they just solo in here, looking to maybe get a favourable exchange.
Let's see what I can get done with it. Solo Uber moving all the way in. Not going to be getting anything out of it that they wanted to. In fact, it was a more favourable Uber charge. The Stickies by Morph. Oh, if he detted then, that could have been a kill. They were perfectly placed onto 3 of the members of the team, but, you know, not getting what they wanted out of that one there. And now they're looking to try and push this through this yard area. I think it's the best play to make, especially with the time so low. Crud gets an arrow, falling very, very weak, and they're just getting collapsed on. Hallian picks up 2. Oh my goodness, just when you thought he was turning around. Benjamin is behind, however. I don't want to count him out just yet, as well as Josh. And oh my god, Benjamin, this could be clean-up duty. Oh, the damage! What is this?
Benjamin
and now it's a 1v1. Benjamin by Dream. Can I get it? No, doesn't get it. Oh,
still, he bought his team heaps of time then by securing that cap. He also bought them all forward spawns, or he bought the med in their solid forward spawns at least, which means they're going to be able to hold on to yard here. Damage incorporated only in this team.
Oh, it just beefs his rockets. Just about beefs it. He types
Throws out an expletive in dead chat.
Oh my god, that was... How'd you... For all the nutty shots he's been hitting off, for him to beef that was a pretty easy kill for him to get. That's quite surprising, but now we see Intoxicated moving in anyway, seeing what they can get done.
He beefs his rockets, but you know it's coming down to 6 minutes on the clock. You know, it was 8 minutes last time you mentioned the time, and you know the time is just ticking down, especially with so many rounds. It's gonna really be playing in the mind of these 2 teams right now.
Benjamin getting caught out in lunchbox, that's questionable from him. He's extending into 2 players there and just eats 2 rockets in the scattergun shot, and that's just feeding for no reason during an even push. He was never going to gain anything from that. We see it was traded now on the point.
Yeah, they're going to see what they can get done. The Uber charge going to be popped off by both of them. Zoic does find Skaz, but ultimately, 1 pick going the way that they really did not want it to. So, they're trying to take this fight now. It is 5v6. And we see Damage Incorporated still happy to hold on for now. They do have, you know, favourable rounds currently. And they might try and wiggle their way around this lunchbox area. Benjamin falling quite weak. In fact, they have regained control of this yard area. Finding a kill in the midst of it. Crud with Stray Sticky finds Morph. That could be the entry they needed. Moving all the way in. Hallian finds Hyperion. Not going to be paying off for them. Dream going to be dropping as well. And there's 2 picks going their way. Slowly but surely they are pretty much putting them into a chokehold and slowly saying goodnight, Papa. See you in the morning. But the back cap attempt, they haven't actually clocked onto this. This could be quite big for them. Are they going to get this in time though with 6 times on the cap? Morph has got the blocks. That's absolutely critical. And this back cap is coming in. The respawners are in for Dream. But is he going to be able to get there in time? That is the question. 2 players on the cap. Dream versus the world. Not going to be working out. And finally, they get around the board. Bit unorthodox.
AU gimmicks coming out there.
Not like this. It's alright, you're not like this in the Twitch chat if you're rooting for Damage Incorporated, that's for sure. This could be the comeback. With 4 minutes on the clock, it's going to take a mid-wipe or like some good solid play coming out of Intox to secure a 2nd round here and take a 3rd as well.
This is very important now. Intoxicated, they need to try and start to work their way in if they want to try and bring us to a 3rd map. Zoic falling, that could be the pick. That could be getting the ball rolling if you like. Skaz is going to get falling, is going to fall as well, I should say. Already Pingu going to be dying. And these kills, they're just being traded 1 for 1 constantly. Damage being expelled absolutely everywhere. Morph going to be dying in the end. But it looks like Damage Incorporated, I wanted to say they're coming out on top, but right now it's a 1v3. See Anarchy surviving. And it looks like Intoxicated finally on the rebound. Anarchy with this uber advantage to work off, guys. This is looking like the comeback. I don't want to say it, but it's certainly definitely favourable for them.
they just really couldn't incorporate that damage into that mid push. Like, they came in and then their players, like, they lost a few players and then weren't able to put the damage out to bring out the kills they needed to hold on. And now we're just going to see, Intox easily taking second. I don't think there's any question that Damage Incorporated are going to try to fend this bad boy off.
We do see Dream on Sniper. He's moving up. Doesn't have eyes onto the medic. And he gets a fat body shot onto Morph. But Morph survives on 2 health. In the end, a sliver of HP, and now we see them looking to move in through this upper area, already popping off this uber charge, but they need to try and bring down this sentry gun if they want any chance. Already is getting focused down so quickly. That is the key piece in this push to make it go the right way. Morph finds one, Benjamin with the follow-up, Hyperion as well. Could this be the round going their way? It is 2-all is the scoreline, and the comeback is on. Intoxicated managed to just bring it back in the nick of time. 2 minutes 42 seconds remaining now. My god. Are we going to see them bring this to a third map?
Not like this. That's what's going through their mind right now. I'd love to see a golden cap. I'd love to see a third map. I'd love to see anything, to be honest, right now. So glad to be alive and watching this game.
Absolutely incredible stuff so far, but right now we see Zoic moving in. Crime with the follow-up! Oh my goodness, that damage putting out, but can they follow it up? Sanarchy, so weak I should say. Sanarchy, Zoic trying to get the kill. The Rockets just about beefing them, and they're already in the back lines. Halflong is surviving in the nick of time. Sanarchy does pick up that pack, and he's trying to take this fight. It looks like Damage Incorporated have stabilised for now, as it is 2 members of the Intoxicated team on the blue, trying to basically stave this off. Zoic now moving all the way in. Sianarchy. Oh, Zoic! What a rocket! And that might just seal the deal. 1 minute 50 seconds remaining. Intoxicated. Oh my goodness. But as I say that, you know, half wrong. He has popped off his uber charge, so that advantage they did have is non-existent. Can they still hold on to this yard area if the spawner's only just coming in? Intoxicated do not want to contest this whatsoever.
That was nuts. What was that rocket?
With half wrong popping his uber off then, and it's like, when they picked Sianarchy, I really thought that would turn the tides, so to speak. But it seems like after popping that off, he's going to be back to even and going to see calm seas ahead from these two teams. But do you see getting the second point for Damage Incorporated? So, you know, it's a minute on the clock, and they have uber advantage. This is the pick. This is like the push they need.
This is it. They're so close to winning. In a few crucial seconds, assuming no mistakes are made, this could be the winners of Intermediate ozfortress Season 16. Damage Incorporated looking to move all the way in. We already see it. Pushing in through that right-hand side. The uber charge not getting popped off just yet. The sentry gun is built as well as the heavy. They need to try and focus down these picks. Benjamin falling very weak, but currently evading the damage for now. But can they still do this with the uber charge popped off so early? Sianarchy is very close to his. They've already dropped 2 players. Skaz has fallen. But right now, this is looking very good for Intoxicated. And with 30 seconds remaining, 2-all is the scoreline. It's looking like it's sealing the deal. Unless something absolutely bizarre happens and they get a back cap, which I just cannot see happening. This looks like it's going to be a golden cap.
Yeah, Intoxicated managing to stave off that push. Really good work by them, bringing out the off-classes there.
11 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 pick going down. That's the sentry gun as well. This could be big. The uber charge has been popped off. 4 seconds remaining. I think they've left it a little bit too late as they're trying to play the point, but it's not going to be good enough. 2-all is the end result, and the golden cap is what we're going to be going to for map number 2. And right now, you know, it was looking so good for Damage Incorporated. They had this 2-round lead, but we saw it on map 1 for Intoxicated. So, you know, anything can happen. It just really does go to show that these two teams, so evenly matched right now, really just locking horns, contesting all the way to the end. Intoxicated, bringing it back those 2 rounds in a few crucial minutes at the end. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah, they managed to get over the hangover, so to speak, and weasel those 2 rounds out and, you know, bring it back in even Stevens.
Yeah.
What a match, guys. This has been so much fun to cast. Both teams are throwing everything they have at this, and we, well, quite literally couldn't be closer as far as these 2 maps are concerned. I was really impressed by Crud all of that map. He played really well. He was just such a constant source of damage. Not only that, but with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, his survivability was on point as well, and was just such a constant for his teams in terms of putting out damage. He played excellently.
Looking at these stats though, Hyperion is going beast mode for Intox, like 11k damage. That's really nice, as like on a pocket. Especially like his
Oh,
KD
yeah.
ratio is really good, given the amount of heals he took. Like he took 40% heals, but he definitely put out the damage to justify that.
Yeah, on the other side of that, though, on the heal stats, we see Benjamin 31 for 21 with a poor little, only 600 heals, 4%. The poor neglected little scout. Definitely a soldier favouring map, as we've seen these logs here.
Honestly, this game has been absolutely nuts. Where do you guys see this going right now? What is the key factor that needs to be decided on this mid fight? Other than the team's obviously wiping, but like what needs to be done to try and combat this? Because I see in these mid fights, I see Skaz. He leaps in almost every time, and it was the mid fight that they actually lost for the first time. Was when nobody followed up on the damage he did. In fact, I don't think he put in much damage, if at all, any. And it was the second mid fight that we just saw. The last mid fight that we just saw, where Crud did finally follow it up, and they did get a pick off it. But I mean, is that all they need to do? Is that all Intoxicated need to do to try and save this round, to try and take it to map number 3? Do they just need to focus down Skaz as he goes for the aggressive leaps, or what's going on? Tell me, guys.
Well, I think what I saw, I'm pretty sure it was in the last mid of that map, but it could have been one of the previous ones where they did the really early double soli aggression into Damage Inc. did the double soli aggression into the death corner of Intoxicated whilst having Crud coming around on the right and following it up, and they just minced Intoxicated, and that was really good. And so if we're looking at it from a Damage Inc. point of view, that's what we want to see. But I think if you can get your scouts on high ground, if you're Intoxicated, you have a good chance of this, being able to deny that soli aggression and get some pressure onto Crud from up on top of the crates, where he's going to have a hard time dealing with you, really. That could be really good for them.
What I've seen kind of happening on a few of these mids is, just as I was talking about on that first mid, how the demo's morph was like considerably faster to Crud. I've seen Skaz, especially on that last mid, kind of favouring like what he was doing. He was waiting for the soldiers of Damage Incorporated to jump crate, and then he was jumping then. And by the time the soldiers from Damage Incorporated are kind of favouring speed over health, so what was happening was they were getting there really fast, but they were getting there really weak. So then Skaz was just jumping up and just being able to pick them off and engineer his team a permanent advantage on that mid. So I think they probably need to just play it a bit slower, to be honest, and just kind of rely on Crud to put in that good damage from behind.
What are the chances we see another Spider mid? Because they were not expected in the Golden Cap. Do we reckon it could work? I reckon it could work.
Too risky. The team, like, it's too much risk right now.
11, 19, never mind.
I reckon we'll see it. I think that was another thing that you alluded to in the pregame, Oxy, is there was more off-classing in this one. We saw a crits heavy, we saw a couple of spies, we saw a spy to the first mid. We've seen, some pro-lander defenses on last put out by both teams, and I reckon if we do have a very tentative mid-fight where both teams aren't really willing to commit super hard in order to make sure they don't wipe, if we do see a bit of a stalemate from mid to second or second to last, I reckon that could come into play again, some of the off-classing, especially from Zoic.
Yeah, I think Spider mid on that first mid is a bit of like, an XD meme kind of thing. Like, it's your first mid, what have you got so much to lose? Whereas now it's 2-2. They've both played the map, they know what's going on. It's too much risk for them to run a Spider mid now. But if things start getting kind of slow, then possibly. But it seems like at the moment these teams are just not, Damage Inc. want the win. They want to seal it in 2, that's for sure. They don't want to go to a third map. And I think Intox don't want to throw it away. But who knows? It's anyone's game at the moment, to be honest. I was really sure it was going to be Damage Inc.'s game when they were 2-0, but then they just... It's one of those kind of things, when you've got that lead, and you say to your team, all right, guys, we don't want to lose a round here, and you lose a round. But we're going live, so let's get into it.
There we are, the countdown begins. Teams getting in position. And now everything on the line currently for Intoxicated. They need to win this to bring it back to a map number 3 to try and become the winners, so to speak, or to try and contest the winners, become the winners of the intermediate ozfortress season 16 grand finals between Intoxicated and Damage Incorporated. Already we're going to see this mid-fight of the Golden Cap kicking off. A lot of damage being exchanged. Currently Skaz already leaping in, but do they have the follow-up? I've said it once, I'll say it again. Pingu does bring him down. Yauch with the follow-up, however. Benjamin as well, he's getting these picks. 2 currently now going their way. So Damage Incorporated in a bit of a sticky situation. Hyperion moving forward, and it's not looking so good currently for the team in red, as they are already backing all the way off. They are going to start to build up that Uber charge, as Halfrong did get out alive, so they can contest with the Uber charge if they so wish, but right now it looks like they are just going to be holding on to this second point. What would you like to see?
I was going to say, this bit of a cruddy mid, I guess, losing your demo straight away for Damage Incorporated there.
That was awful.
They were
an awful
kind of back off there, and we're just going to see Spam being traded on second, but they don't want to exchange Ubers here, because if they exchange Ubers and it doesn't go favourably for them, then it's probably not going to be too great, but they're going for it anyway. That's key.
They want to pop it off. Yeah, they want to pop off both these Uber charges. Skaz finds 2. Pingu and Zoe are going to be going down. Hallian only with the counterfrag just. And as well as that, Dream finds that 1 kill. So currently, it's looking pretty good for them as they're trying to hold on to this. Hallian turning up. He picks up C, Anarchy and Morph in the end. Benjamin, the last survivor, finds 1. Surely he's not going to get the second one. What? Benjamin! Are you joking? What is this?
That was
Benjamin!
huge.
Surely, he must know my voice is almost dead. Why is he making plays like this? He wants me to never cast again. He survives on 5 health in the end. Picks up 3 players. Staves off the aggression. What in God's name was that?
You saw 2 players go down, like, straight away for Damage Incorporated, and in your mind, you're like, okay, Intoxicated have this, and they claw it back, but then Benjamin just comes back with the big boy plays, and just slaps him in the face and says, not today, sir. And this manages to just, beautiful work. We just see a pause coming out here though, so let's calm it down. Catch your breath, Bren.
That was an interesting play. We saw both scouts absolutely just holding hands. Like during the Uber exchange on the point, they both ran up through Lunchbox and just helped themselves to the top. They took a 2v1 and easily dealt with the scout watching Lunchbox and came in. Honestly, you can say it was a questionable play because they did. You saw it. Everyone else on Intoxicated ended up dead, and they baited their team really hard to get those kills, but they paid off as we go live again.
Do you see the unpause coming out? Bit of a Uber advantage here for Saniki, and they're grinding it hard. Halfrong grinding it as well.
It is going to be an Uber advantage to Intoxicated if they play off it, but it's going to be a hard one to do. And they're already trying to play this Lunchbox side. Skaz finds 1. Can he get the follow-up? Dream caught out of position. That's not where he wants to be at all. In fact, he's going to be finding the second kill. Now, 2 players. That's where the pause kicked off. And now they're going to start to try and make these plays happen. Already, it's looking very, very difficult currently for the Damage Incorporated guys. They're trying to hold on currently for last. This could be it. We could be going to map number 3. The Uber charge now being popped off by Intoxicated, moving all the way in. Great milking currently coming out for Damage Incorporated as they do finally pop it off, but Intoxicated want to take the fight straight to them. They find 2 kills onto Morph and Skaz. The cap time already absolutely tons of it. Benjamin going to be cratering in the end to Hallian's rockets. And it is a successful defense for now. But can they get this retake? Can they take this second point without any casualties? I think they are going to be able to successfully do that.
Beautiful defense from Damage Incorporated there. Just able to stave that off. Really nice. But we do see Intoxicated holding very close in the yard here. Not going to let anything through. Hallian trying to bust through, and Skaz goes down on the flank there.
Yeah, that was a big shots being hit by Dream there. A bit of an unfavourable fight to take, but we see Hallian getting caught out of position now. Zoic. This is where the game actually was paused. There we go. Right. Yeah, and we see Zoic was a little bit too far forward there. He is backed off now. I think it was Pingu who's having lag problems. He's reconnected, and I think they should be sorted. But right now, Benjamin is going to be falling there. Dynamic Duo on the flank does find that 1 kill. And I think Intoxicated looks like they want to try and play this. Morph is getting a bit aggressive around that corner, but ultimately, these teams, they're just happy to play quite slowly. They don't want to make any mistake whatsoever. As I say, that Uber charge going to get popped off here by Damage Incorporated. Intoxicated getting a slightly better one at that. They milk it just slightly more excellently, and now Crud finds that 1 kill onto Skaz onto the flank, but can they work off it? That is the question. They are trying to back off here as they were getting baited into that unfavourable positioning. Pingu now trying to get in that damage. At the same time, they've lost 2 players, 4 players, 5! Pingu the only survivor. Could this be it? Could we be going to map number 3? Pingu falls. The player's not respawning for a very long time. I think this might be GG, guys. Josh is already on the last point. Unless Dream can pull off an absolute miracle play onto the heavy class, it's not going to be doable. The cap already coming in. Zoic gets air shot. And there we are. Come back. Absolutely insane.
Not
With that
like
being
this.
said, take the floor. I'm going to the toilet. I'm about to piss myself.
You do that, Bren. We've got this down. That was what I think cost them that entire round. Was as the Ubers were getting exchanged around Shutter Door, Yauch decided to be a little bit creative, a little bit crafty, and drop down. He dropped down and came out, and he found Morph totally alone, like absolutely unprotected, no one near him. Then munched on 2 pipes and a stick and just died without hitting a single rocket on him. That sort of triggered a chain reaction of players just bleeding into the Intoxicated combo, which, as we saw in the end, ended in a total team wipe on second and cost them the map. As we go onto Badlands as our third map, Oxy.
Yeah, so Badlands should be the decider, and I agree with what you're saying. I think that what kind of happened was after we saw Yauch go down, Helion's logic was it was the right one. He was saying, all right, I'm going to jump in, cause a big distraction for my team, and do huge damage. All right, and that's what he did. But the thing is, you're on last. Your life is more valuable than your damage in that regard. Do you know what I mean? Like, you often see that as a case of, like, instead of staying and fighting, it's a lot better to sit back. And what happened was that the scout went forward, and, the soldier bombed around, and then he gave his life, which just wasn't what you needed on the last push.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And despite all the big players coming out, here we are. Intoxicated have equalised it up, and now we're on Badlands, the quintessential map for Six's Tier 2, and probably the great equaliser, as both of these teams will have played a lot of Badlands. What are you expecting going into this one, Oxy?
Expecting a lot of shithouse pushes from Intox, I think, because it's such a nice soldier push. Something that I haven't really seen either of these teams play this. So I don't know. I would like to see a bit of variation on the demo weapons, to be honest. I wouldn't mind seeing... Is loose cannons allowed, yeah? I'm pretty sure.
Cannons allowed.
After you got nerfed, there's no real question, but... I feel like I love a good loose cannon, especially on this one. Or I love a good cow mangler, like a bit of that right click spam through the chokes on last. It's always good. It's a nice way to get a med force or get a good pick.
I don't think Cow Mangler is allowed just yet, thankfully. I could be wrong about that, but...
I've been using it in scrims, so I'm not too sure if it's allowed in the current config, but I know that for last season it was, I'm pretty sure. Like season 15, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wrong, and there we are. But, yeah, I think this will be a really interesting one. I reckon Yauch's going to have room to get creative, as is Skaz. Skaz, a lot of room on Badlands mid to jump behind, as we've seen him favour on both of these maps so far. He's loved sort of taking eyes and buying his team space by jumping behind, and you can do that a few different ways on Badlands. So I reckon we're going to see some big mids from the roamers coming out here. And I also reckon that, look, if Hyperion can convert his damage from last map and carry that going forward, I reckon this is going to be a big ask for Damage Inc., who now, having surrendered a 2-0 lead and losing Granary 3-2. Momentum's against them now, so we're going to have to see how they recover.
Well,
certainly.
Badlands is the map. I don't know what you guys have been talking about. I've only sort of joined at the tail end of that. But as a map, was this just a remainder, or was it picked by a certain team? Who picked it?
I think it was picked by Intoxicated. I'm pretty sure it was picked by Intoxicated because you still had Gully and Snake left to pick from. So this is an Intox pick, so they're obviously feeling confident on that. That said, they did lose their first map pick, so that's not going to mean anything going into this, as both teams have lost their own map pick so far. So it'll be a good one. If it's anything like these last two maps, if it's that close down to the wire, I honestly don't care who wins at this point, because we've seen some quality TF2 here tonight. Both these teams very deserving, stepping into the Premier Division next season. So I think this is going to be a great map to the great equalizer, Badlands, to end a great series. I'm excited.
Well, we are just waiting for them to begin any second now. I don't know if the 90 seconds has been called. Probably not. These teams are probably just waiting. They have had quite a lot of gaming so far. I don't know what time it is currently in Australia. What's the current time zone looking like in Sydney?
10:30 at the moment. 10:30 in the PM.
Okay, getting pretty late then.
Well, I think something to note is for Damage Inc., a fair few of their players are NZers. So, it's reaching that, it's starting to breach that 1 a.m. mark for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And, you know,
What?
I'm sure you love getting up nice and early to cast, Bren, but teams don't like that nice and late to play.
Yeah. Well, the countdown's going to begin. We're going to be going to a map number 3 of the ozfortress Season 16 Intermediate Grand Final between Intoxicated and Damage Incorporated. The unthinkable has happened. Intoxicated managed to retake it, come back from their crushing defeat for the second map. And we are going to be going to map number 3. Could go absolutely either way. These teams have shown absolutely incredible promise. We're going to see them, the double soldier aggression, great air shot to Hyperion, going to be bringing them down to absolutely single digits of HP in the end. Skaz does find Pingu, but can they get the kills they need? That is the question. Zoic and Hallian are getting them. Benjamin and Skaz going to be falling in the end. And right now the positioning, not really too favourable for the Damage Incorporated guys. In fact, it's going to be more favourable for the Intoxicated gents, but they are just absolutely falling. The combined focus fire of the soldiers and scouts from Damage Incorporated just seems a little bit too much for them. Cyanarchy at that point, mate, I'll just be kill binding. But he's going to be falling in the end.
There, you're right,
yeah. Something to note is that both of Damage Incorporated's soldiers are on gunboats, which I love gunboats on Pocket for a map like this, whereas we still see Hyperion running the shoddy, and that means that, you know, Damage Incorporated, their soldiers, like jumping spy, that kind of stuff, the health impact is going to be so minimal for them that they're going to allow so much more movement, and that like showed on that mid. Their soldiers were able to re-enter and refight a lot later into the fight, whereas Hyperion just wasn't able to, just didn't have the, you know, health to jump around and throw his weight around.
Well, they do have a very big Uber advantage. Sentry gun already being built in that standard location. Benjamin on Pyro as well. We've seen what Pyros can do in this game, and already the Uber charge going to be popped off. Benjamin, a little bit late reactions there, but he has denied this Uber off a decent amount. The Sentry gun, however, is going to go down regardless. Crud finds that kill. Pingu finally going to be bringing down Benjamin as well on the Pyro class, and Ada just trying to focus down these plays, but they've lost so many of them. 3 down for the Damage Incorporated gents, and they cannot really try to play this any further. A last-ditch effort by Zoic to try and get something done, try and bring down Cyanarchy potentially, trying to equalise the Ubers out a little bit, but he has survived. So now,
blind death!
Sticky trap! What was that? Was that a blind death?
He was backing out through Valley and he had sticks up on bats, and he totally blind death that only based off Pocket's positioning to get the medic. That was excellent game sense there.
Oh my god. And that one pick, that's no Uber advantage for Intoxicated right now. We already see the aggression coming out by Damage Incorporated, seeing what they can do with it. And they are going to be able to retake that Spire area. Look at that last cap as well. A lot of cap time still on it currently. The Spire, however, also just needs to be touched. Just need to be tickled for a little bit, and it will be capped up. So both teams maybe a little bit edgy currently as it stands, but they're trying to play this on the point already. Uber charge popped off quite early on. They just need to focus down this heavy now. Josh on the heavy. Can they bring him down? No, they're not, just really focusing on the fire, and he's absolutely making mincemeat of everyone. Crud now trying to basically move their way in. The sticky placement means that his team could just play the point, and indeed that's exactly what they did. And that is a quick round all off the back of Crud. Oh my goodness. That was
not
insane.
sure what Pingu was doing there. He came up on Spy and fed Cyanarchy 2 saws after their demo, just like god tier dead him. And Cyanarchy was on 90% when they capped that point, and you know, they got the round, but god damn, what the hell are you doing, dude?
Questionable players, as a friend of mine would say.
There we are, moving in mid-fight number 2. Zoic does find Benjamin, but at the same time the frag's definitely going to be going the way of the Damage Incorporated gents. Pingu finds 2. The medic also going to be falling. Cyanarchy dying earlier in that engagement. Hyperion, the last man left alive. There's going to be no issues whatsoever. So Halfrong surviving in that fight means it is going to be, once again, an Uber advantage going away to Damage Incorporated. And you know, it's so easy to snowball off the back of that. As soon as you get that Uber charge advantage, as soon as you retake that Spire up, they don't have the players just yet, but now they're going to start to slowly cap this. There is an opportunity for the Intoxicated gents to try and retake this, but it looks like they are just setting up the defense. Benjamin on Pyro, the Sentry gun being built by Josh, so currently they are just willing to just give up the second point.
Well, speaking of Snow, Bren, bloody Pingu Iceman going huge on that mid, man. Bloody
oh yeah,
frosty shots from him, dude.
Oh, as you say that, the spy coming into Halfrong. He's just missed the backstab. He's missed it twice. Oh my god, no way. But at the same time, Benjamin with the reflect picks up Crud. Oh my goodness, that was so ridiculously close and so unfortunate for Skaz. He just missed that back cap, the backstab not once but twice, and now this attempt of pushing into last has been made futile in the end. The Uber charge didn't come to fruition as it stands. The Sentry gun pushed them off What was that? Skaz just missing the backstabs. That could have. It turned out good anyway, but that could have turned out a completely different way.
It happens to the best of us. You just
Yeah.
you see the med and you get so keen for the left click and you click it and then it doesn't happen and you just get really disappointed. But we do see the push coming out now from Saniki. He does have that big overcharge advantage. Skaz going down though, and it's just morphing him here. He might get pressured out early to pop this. He's isolated from his players, Saniki.
Yeah, well, the team was there. Morph was pretty much on cleanup duty that entire game. He got the stickies off, cut off Crud in that engagement, and now moving forward, Intoxicated realise they need to get a move on a little bit. They do have the Uber advantage to work off, but it's pretty much all faded as Half Wrong is only about 5% away from getting his, so unless an absolute miracle happens, they are going to be able to contest this with the Uber charge. Now, right now, Intoxicated going to be holding on to the mid-fight for now, the mid-point, I should say. And it looks like there's going to be a dry push through this housing area, the resupply area. The Uber charge got popped off by Dream. Great force by him. And Halfrong is going to be popping his off as well, slightly after. Ultimately, not much getting out of it from both these teams. In fact, Pingu wanted to go for the back cap there, but he realised Intoxicated are on this point, trying to cap it up, and already to leap in by Hyperion, seeing what he can get done. Zoic is going to be falling. Everyone is pretty much weak. In fact, Crud's going to be finding Josh in the end. A lot of frags going absolutely everywhere. Halfwrong did survive in this engagement, but there's players absolutely scattered all over the place.
I'm not quite sure why Half-Wrong popped there. They were on bats, and they Ubered through, like, the other, like, Intoxicated Ubered through, like, you know, their resup. And there was no pressure on him, no pressure on his team for him to pop. He just saw them pop and just popped. Unless there's something that I didn't see. But it was a bit, that was a bit off to me.
Yeah.
But now we see, you know, Intox is going to take second off that. And they're just going to hold them to last. And we're just going to see the reverse of what happened last round. Intox hopefully try to, you know, weasel around her.
Well, again, it needs to be said there is a one-round disadvantage currently for the Intoxicated gents. They are building up that overcharge as fast as they possibly can. But so is Halfrong, so they are going to have the Uber to defend with. And they are taking up this lobby position as well, making it even harder for them to push into. Unless they absolutely monumentally cock something up, I think it's going to be pretty hard for Intoxicated to move in off unless they get a pick. So the off classes as well, not really coming out. We do see Dream on Engineer to defend on last with that sentry gun. Pretty much the last bastion of defense if they need it. But as it stands, you know, Intoxicated pretty happy. They are trying to work their way in through this balcony area. They might try and opt for an Uber exchange. In fact, that's exactly what they're going to be doing, moving all the way in. Uber charge going to be popped off by both of them now. Not really getting much with it just yet, but now, can they pick off any players? Hallian gets completely caught out of position. In fact, he's going to get air shot once. Finally gets back to the safety of the resupply area, however. And now they're trying to play this in. Crud might get caught out of position. He's getting so weak, but the arrows by Halfwrong going to be working out in the end. Josh does manage to bring him down, but this is a very, very scrappy fight. In fact, the sentry gun is still alive. Crud trying to, not Crud, Morph trying to bring it down, I should say. He's just manoeuvred it. I think that might not have been the play to do, as it is going to get broken down in the end. And now with these two players down, 3 players I should say, all they can do is play the point, and it should be GG. As I say that, they've lost a lot of players.
Huge.
Yeah.
Hallian is saving that for his team. I don't know why you'd move a sentry gun on last though. Like, you move it like a foot back. It's a bit weird. But Hallian managed to save that for his team though.
Yeah,
we do see
it was looking a bit unfavourable, but yeah, it is absolutely huge actually. Sianika, you're going to be pretty happy with this so far. He has a lot of room to work with. Dream's going to be falling. Zoic as well. 2 frags going their way. This should be pretty easy unless Pingu gets the cap. Not quite. And the last cap, the back cap. That's all he needed. Didn't even need it. Benjamin gets it.
Halfwrong kills him just after it was capped. Unlucky there. Well, heads up play by Benjamin. Sorry to interrupt, Bren.
That's all right, no worries. But it is a difficult situation to be in right now. They had the Uber charge, they didn't even need it. Benjamin, as you mentioned, heads up play by him. We're going to be going into mid-fight number 3 now. And seeing what they can get done. A lot of damage coming out by Morph as he's getting off some stickies. And a lot of players weak on damage incorporated. They need to try and conserve themselves a little bit better, I think. And just waiting for that one crucial pick up. We do find the first one going. Hallian and Crud falling. This should be an easy mid-fight 1 unless something absolutely miraculous happens. In fact, 3 picks going away. Zoic moves in for the kill, but right on top of him is Morph. So right now, 2 players up. Halfwrong did survive, so they do have the Uber advantage, it should be said. or not the Uber advantage, the Uber charge to hold last with, but, you know, it's a very back and forth engagement. It just seems like whoever wins the mid-fight ends up eventually taking a round, which is the case in most games, but look at this, already moving all the way in. Josh wants to take the fight straight to them, try and force a few of them back, maybe. Uber charge popped off. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but currently, if Intoxicated kite this well, they could repush with this Uber charge and try and cut them out of position. In fact, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Uber charge has popped off. Zoic finds Skaz. The sentry gun is a level 2. Going to be forcing them back a little bit. They need to try and bring this down. Morph Stickies do finally find it. Crud is very, very weak. He just about survives and backing off by Intoxicated. Could they have retaken that? Could they have refought that?
Possibly. I think with them holding last, like there's, you know, it's even Ubers. Halfrong's got a minor advantage, but it's not enough for them to push out from. It's the grand final, you know, like, you don't want to, like, kind of take risks. You know, if they take this map, they take the series, so... On one hand, I hear what you're saying, like, in terms of could they have repushed it, sure, but doing this is completely fine, you know, like, there's no question that this is a completely normal, like... If that makes sense, what I'm saying here. This is a no-risk play for them. If, like... Damage Inc. push out on it, sure, like, great work, you pushed out on, like, a 10% Uber, but, like, you're asking for trouble here. They're gonna get back cap. Look at them. They're so
already
keen.
trying to move around. The Uber charge has been popped off, at least. They do find one kill at the cost of Skaz's life. And they're still trying to work their way in. Uber charge still not up for Halfrong. In fact, they got popped a lot earlier, and this should be an easy win. Already, a lot of players on. The Sticky's not going to be saving in their crud, as it is going to be 2-1 in the end to Intoxicated. They played that very methodically.
Yeah, see, they just did what I said not to do. Which was just, you know, it's very easy to say it from our perspective, I guess, but, you know, it's just too much risk. Especially on a map like Badlands, where, you know, the point cap's not as fast anymore, but it still caps pretty damn fast. It's just too much risk, especially in the grand finals. You don't want to give up a round advantage.
We're seeing a pause already, so I'm not going to be getting into round number 4 just yet. Although it has just started, the mid-fight. Still waiting to be kicked off. What do Damage Incorporated need to do to try and turn this around?
They need to be taking better Uber fights. I feel like their Ubers. What we've seen out of this is, you know, we've seen their med Uber in situations where he doesn't really need to Uber. We've seen them, you know, push forward on like 10% advantages off last, which is like what we just saw. They need to take cleaner Ubers, possibly like more solos. I just feel like they need to be playing the Uber game better, because at the moment they're playing it suboptimally, and they're giving up space. They're giving up too much space because of it. They're not taking ground effectively, and, you know, giving up ground effectively. They're just giving up ground. And that's what we probably need to see from them, in my opinion.
So, just to catch me up, because I wasn't quite looking at the right players there, did the combo from Damage Inc. wrap all the way around into lobby as they were going bottom right on Intoxicated?
They pushed top right, and they pushed out into lobby, and they pushed in lower left, like trying to catch 2 or 3 players. But then there was just a med and a soldier, and the med and soldier, they were like, well, you've Ubered 2 players trying to kill us. Well, joke's on you, we have Uber and we're 1 soldier, so we can just solo Uber and kill 2 of your players. Haha, now you're 2 players down on last. GG, have a good time. Like...
And that's something I've noticed in a couple of pushes from Damage Inc. When they're holding last, they're very quick to relinquish high ground, which I'm not a fan of on Badlands last. High ground wins you Badlands last pushes or last defenses. And we saw it in that one where the Uber was popped out quite softly, honestly, from Halfrong, and then they immediately just gave up high ground in an attempt to chase Intoxicated out, and when Intoxicated Ubered through, they still hadn't got high ground. They had their combo sitting on the floor, including Crud, which is just not a good position to be in. So they need to tighten that up if they are going to stand a chance further into this. But hopefully they won't be doing many more last holds if things go according to plan.
Yeah, I think Halfrong just needs to change his Ubers to be all right, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. He's got very polarizing Ubers at the moment, and he's just sort of find a middle ground, I reckon. He's having either some really good Ubers. I've seen him have some excellent Uber management in some of their pushes so far, but then other times I think he's assumed his players are in more danger of dying than they actually are, and so it's causing him to pop off a bit prematurely. He's going to have some faith in the movement of his players as we are going back live.
Here we are. The mid-fight is going to begin anytime now. Indeed it is, as they are already moving in. Zoic trying to get the kills. Indeed he has picked them up. So currently the fight is looking pretty favourable so far for Intoxicated if they come out on top. In fact, Hyperion picks up 1. Crud does get the kill onto him in the end. But right now we're seeing 2v2 fight. Scars having to back all the way out. See Anarchy going to be healing him up. So, thankfully, the medic for Intoxicated did get out alive. It is going to be 100% Uber. What's going on in the back lines?
See Anarchy missed about 4 crossbows.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw that. But we're not going to mention it.
No one saw anything.
We do see now just... my HUD's a little bit broken, but I'm assuming it's even Ubers between these two teams, given that Anarchy got out a little bit. I'm just going to see possibly trying to muscle second point here from Damage Inc. But we do see close hold from Intox here, and you know, Damage Inc. they've already beefed a few Ubers. They don't want to get anything wrong here. I'd like to see a solo from them on a pocket, like kind of bring your pocket round, go for a good exchange, like cycle the Ubers, and then just wait for them to push into you on mid and try to see what you can do. Dream trying to take a fight on the flank here, and getting very low.
Right now, both teams just happy to hold on. Zoic looks like he wants to go for a sack attempt, but he's going to get absolutely obliterated out of the sky. See you later. Just about beefed this jump there off that hoodoo platform, or haunted platform. I don't know really what it's called. I don't play TF2. But there we go. Unpause, pause. That's where the pause occurred. But as it stands, this is looking pretty slowed down for now, which I can't blame him. Cannot blame him.
Not sure why they're pausing. Maybe having a bit of ping issues, perhaps.
See it in chat. Their medic was having headset issues. I think it was something strange.
Yep. Can't hear where the arrows need to go. Anyway, we see here teams just holding even Ubers. They're getting keen. Alien going around the corner.
Moving in, this is going to be the Ubers popped off now. A slightly better Uber charge for Intoxicated. Let's see what they can get done with it. Seeing if they can chase down a few of these players. In fact, it's going to be Jash who finds Hallian in the end. Pingu does get the counter frag onto the demo man of Morph. But right now, it's just frags going absolutely everywhere. My HUD is still broken because of the pauses, but it looks like Hyperion might be next or not. So he finds one Zoicon sniper, does get the counter frag onto Jash in the end. So this could still be playable. Hyperion with the shotgun finds Crud on absolutely no help whatsoever. In fact, Zoic going to be dying as well to Scar. So this is going to be a mid-fight taken by the blue team being Intoxicated, and we'll see what they can get done. It is equal Uber as well, as both medics died in the engagement.
Yeah, that might have been a moment of mediocrity for Hallian, because he bombed around the corner there from mid and ran out of rockets. Like, he bombed in, shot 2 rockets, and then realised he had none. So essentially, he just had to whip out his escape plan and get minced there.
And once again, a very familiar situation that we're used to be seeing. This time, it is, you know, the Damage Incorporated gents who are on the back foot, holding on to their second point this time. And we'll see if Intoxicated go a different roundabout way of trying to assault this. Hallian finds Benjamin. Now, I think that might have been on the resupply area, but already, look at this passive positioning by Intoxicated, holding all the way back. Do not want to give anything away. Want to be ready for when Damage Incorporated look to try and push in. In fact, Zoic going to be leading the charge. He's been absolutely smashed into the ground by the scatterguns of the opposing enemy team, and he's going to be getting absolutely nothing out of that attempt. So, the LOL in chat as well by Hyperion. There's a nice sack attempt by Skaz though. He gets the force. Brilliant. That's exactly what they wanted. And now
that's almost not what they wanted. They've got Benjamin up on... Oh, he was on sniper. He's changed it off. My mistake.
Nice play by Skaz there.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff. Now it's the Uber charge. As they're moving in through the resupply area. Dream's probably not going to get a force out this time like last time. So it's going to be a repeat of that. But this is a very, very good position to try and take this fight. Zoic absolutely crushes Jash in the lobby side area. There's one player you can't afford to lose, really, but Benjamin does find Zoic in the end. And now the force attempts coming out by them. See Anarchy, I don't know if he needed a pop there, but he got a little bit scared. There was a few players around him. But it doesn't matter anyway. Hyperion and Morph going to be playing clean-up duty.
Intox haven't capped second, though. Well, now they're capping it, but... If they had a scout on there quicker, they probably could have rolled that straight to last, but they're going to have damaging spawners up here.
Even if they didn't camp that, could they not just slow roll into last and try and play positioning?
They can, like they've got the Uber ad, but they killed enough players that they could have, like if they had a scout on there right away or a soldier on there right away, they could have just rolled the round straight through. Whereas now they're going for a more methodical play, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. They're already a round up, so power to them.
Yeah, not only that, they do have quite a big Uber advantage. Well, I say quite a big, it is actually closing the gap quite significantly now. It's Vaccinator being ran by Hafrong, that's why it's building so quickly. So it is 100% Uber right now on Sianaki, but a Vaccinator now being pushed out. We're going to see the Vaccinator explosive resistance as well as bullet resistance. Absolutely undestructible. Hellion finally going to be brought down in the end. So the Uber charge pretty much negated by just a single pop of the 2 charges of the Vaccinator. Now they're looking to try and play this really underside area. Hyperion starting to try to play the point. This is not the old Badlands, my man. You can't really go for those plays and expect to get anything from it. As the cap time, not that great for them so far. They're already Damage Incorporated, looking to make their move through this balcony area. They've got the Vaccinator plays. They're coming out, trying to make as much as they possibly can. Benjamin wants to take this fight against Crud, but the bullet resistance, look at that. Again, just can't kill it. It's absolutely disgusting sometimes.
Beautiful Vaccinator play. We do have Spy. We have Jash on Spy here. He's been spotted out though.
He's been spotted out but forgotten about. He's just uncloaked. They've just given up as they find him now.
Oh, there we go. He's dead. It's going to be Intoxicated trying to retake the Spire now. They do have Hyperion on it. It's going to be getting that cap fairly shortly. Moving across, and Damage Incorporated look like they want to try and take the fight. They have contested them off it for now, but Skaz at the back lines. Is he going to go down here? Indeed he does. Dream almost fell to a stray rocket. But unfortunately for Intoxicated, he did survive now. They are moving in. The Vaccinator can't save Hellion from that leap attempt, and they might be caught out of position here. But as I say that, Zoic in the back lines gets the force. Excellent plays by him. And now with that, they do have 3 picks, but they have not capped up this Spire, so a bit unfavourable for them, especially when they're trying to push into the Vaccinator. It can be. I keep mentioning the Vaccinator because it is, in the right hands, it's absolutely dirty. It's disgusting. You know, you can just fend off entire pushes when you have the right mixture of off classes.
Yeah, it's I like to see it coming out. I like to use it, but only in scrims. I'm never one to you know, I'm never one for that kind of thing to use in an official, but
I feel like these sort of unlocks are going to start to get used a lot more as ways to come about certain teams' playstyles, especially Crowns. But as I've been blabbering on about unlocks, Pingu just clocks Sianaki 1-2 in the head, brings him down. Say goodbye to your Uber advantage right now, as now they are moving in. However, Hafrong very weak. He's going to pick up that pack, but he's still running the Vaccinator. Not ideal, not what you want when you're trying to retake and push out with a potential Uber advantage. Is he going to go to resupply and change it, or is he just going to opt to still use the Vaccinator? I think he is.
Well, if the other mid doesn't have Uber, it's technically a permanent advantage when you think about it. Like, it builds so fast that you can just like use it to push, and it's working for him. So, like.
But now Benjamin on Pyro. This is just so heads up.
I can't handle these meta plays, to be honest. It's too meta for me. We saw I think it was a team last season that redefined the meta, said Pocket wasn't good and ran a permanent Pyro all season and came like second last in a division or something, but they set the standard and now we see it coming out even more.
We've got a heavy on the field as well. We've got a heavy and a Pyro on the side of Intoxicated, while we've got Vaccinator on Damage Inc. This is, goodness gracious.
You got to remember as well, this is a 1-round advantage currently to Intoxicated. They're holding, you know, they're in the driving seat. They are a round up. They have the Uber charge advantage, it should be said. And right now, you know, Damage Incorporated, they have to push in to a lot of damage types, which is really unfavourable for the Vaccinator. But it looks like they might want to try and push this in now. They're peeking his corner slowly but surely. Jash on that heavy class now. The bullet resistance coming out as well as the explosive. Just trying to basically brute force their way out. But you're just locked in this position where you cannot do anything. It's so hard to push out here when you're still running the Vaccinator.
They're running the really good counter as well. A great counter to the Vaccinator is running that Scorch Shot on a Pyro and just spamming them around the corner because it really puts off people. I think it really counters the Vaccinator well.
Especially Zoic on Sniper. Keeps getting clocked with that Scorch Shot, and it's going to be messing up his aim a little bit. But now we see them moving in. Intoxicated want to try and take this fight possibly through the Haunter area, and then indeed they are. They're going to be popping it off. The Pyro just pretty much M1ing in. Benjamin gets the air blast of the century, it seems like. Gets a few of these kills. They're getting absolutely tons. 2 on either side, however, falling. Zoic on Sniper
capping
as well.
Mid, though.
Seeing what
Dream's
they can
capping
do.
mid, like back capping behind.
Is Benjamin going to get this kill? Surely not. He has fended him off for now, but he's picked up the pack, and really Dream wins this fight 9 times out of 10. Indeed he does. Skaz now moving in, trying to basically stop this back cap from occurring, and they do trade. So Dream did well to buy a lot of time for his team there. I think that's probably
nipple hairs away though.
Nipple hairs. Over there, down
So close to getting capped. Like if he'd got that, that would have been like so clutch for his team. But I think dying at least gives Half Wrong a chance to switch off the vaccinator and onto something a bit more amicable.
It's on the medigun now, which is pretty much what they wanted. It was really, really hard to push into that when they were running the pyro and the heavy, but now switching back to the normal 6s we know and love, seeing what they can get done. But as we've mentioned time and time again, it's a 1-round disadvantage currently to Damage Incorporated. They've got a lot of work ahead of them, and now they want to move in with this uber advantage, popping it off pretty early on. Half Wrong so weak. In fact, the Serb not going to be saving you at all. He's going to get absolutely munched in the process. Now Pingu trying to take this 1v3. Is he going to get out of here? I think he is, yeah. They don't actually clock onto him being there. It's actually the back lines they're a bit worried about, as Josh was getting a bit weak there. So they have picked up these stragglers. Now they're going to look to try and retake this Spire area slowly but surely. Players are respawning on the side of the Damage Incorporated.
Bit of scrappy play this round from Damage Inc. There's just kind of back and forth off their second. Like, they really kind of need to get something going here, or else they're going to be stuck in this same cycle and going to be another round down if they don't do something quick. Back on Vac for Half Wrong here.
Yeah, back on Vaccinator. That is not really the most ideal situation you want to be in, especially when they do not have Uber Charge. I mean, if you were quick, building with arrows as well across the point, I'm not sure how feasible it is on Badlands last, because it is quite an enclosed last point. But if you were quick, you could have built up an Uber advantage in that time. But right now, we see Sianaki. It looked like they want to try and move in with this Uber. Great play by Zoek, gets the force, just moves into lobby. A few rockets is all it takes, and that has set his team up for a beautiful play right now. So there we go. Jash is going to be falling. Dream gets the follow-up onto Skaz. Vaccinator working out, along with the sentry gun, really just fending them off for now. So moving in from this is a prime opportunity. Comes a Destructive Incorporated can play off. But are they going to? They are going to start to cap up this spy area. Benjamin on Sniper going to be trying to keep them off for now. Dream is eating a few pot shots here and there. But I think he is eventually going to be able to get this cap up. No, or not. They just about bring him down.
Nipple hairs away once again.
Yeah, and with that, they've lost 2 players. This is pretty huge. 2 players down. They are going to be respawning fairly quickly. But already they look like they want to move in through this main area. As it stands, Sianaki almost has that overcharge. Benjamin going to be bringing down that sentry gun. Here we go, popping themselves all the way in. Sianaki falls! The vaccinator charges, they just basically rammed them straight into a hole. And Dream's going to be falling. The back cap attempt by Jash not going to be paying off. He had 3 members of the enemy team waiting for him patiently, and he got brought down with almost no issues. Now Skaz moves in, tries to get that kill. Again, a last-ditch effort. So we do see 5 minutes remaining, it should be said, on the clock, and still a 1-round disadvantage to the side of Pingu has disconnected. Is there a pause?
Not quite sure what happened there. No pause?
No pause?
No. Not quite sure what happened there.
Okay. They're just going to play on.
He's in spec, so he's probably reconnecting or something like that.
Right, okay. Yeah. Don't want to waste any time.
Damage Inc. really need to make this work for them right now. They need to bring it up to 2-2. If they don't make this push work, then I can't really see this map going anywhere for them. They pushed out, they're on mid here, they've got a sizable Uber advantage. They need to do this right. If they do it, like if this doesn't work, it's just, I don't know, Bren. But they need to do something.
Yeah. It's a difficult situation for them right now. They're still running the medigun, which is thankful for them. They do have an advantage as well, it needs to be said. However, the time running out, 4 minutes remaining now on the clock. 1 round down, more finds Dream pretty much on the entry frag that they potentially need to try and take this point now as they are steamrolling ahead. Now the Uber charge has been popped off here by the Destructive Incorporated gents, and they're going to see what they can get with it. Crud with his stickies has found Hyperion. Benjamin trying to take this fight in the trash area. A lot of damage being exchanged. All they need is 1 rocket to bring him down. 1 roller will do it. Crud finds the kill in the end. With that, just a single roller just falling to his feet. So Zoek wins the 1v1 on the flank as well against Skaz. This could be the spy area being taken up, but Half Wrong, he's out of position. Josh! Oh my goodness! Oh wow, and Sianaki falls as well to Zoek. That's what you were screaming about. I didn't even realise that was going on. So both the medics are going to be falling.
That was just crazy. So what happened there was Zoek was in their resup and he was getting arrowed from house. by half wrong. Their demo knew he was there, but because he got arrowed up, he was able to jump around on that lip of bats there and just walk around and double rocket. The med would have known he was there, or the players should have called it at least. Like, that was just crazy.
Surely going to fall here.
That's the play they needed.
Oh my god, Benjamin. Oh, okay. Dream finally brings him down before Benjamin almost wipes the entirety of the enemy team. It is a slight Uber advantage being said here for half wrong. They have 20%, currently building it up with that skill stick. But at the same time, Sianaki also building up their Uber. So, you know, it is a little bit slower, but defense always harder to crack into. Now, Crud trying to get in that early damage, maybe stop that sentry gun from even being built in the first place, buying a few crucial seconds for his team. As they do have the Uber charge that they are going to want to work off any time now. Now, Benjamin, once again, waiting on Pyro. He's been critical. That one-off class has been absolutely detrimental to pretty much all of Damage Incorporated's pushes. Are they going to be able to do a repeat? Pretty much their advantage is gone now, should be said as well. 100% Uber is on Sianaki. This push, if they decide to go for it, not too keen on it.
2 minutes on the clock. If they wait, they can possibly look for like a golden cap.
But they're moving in already. Hallian, he has brought down a dispenser and teleporter, not the picks they particularly wanted. Crud now trying to bring down his sentry gun. It's still not going down. My god, they're not even using the rescue ranger and they're getting absolutely destroyed by it. Now the cap trying to get popped off here. Morph is hot on his heels, so he is going to find that kill. Now Pingu tried to go for the last ditch back cap attempt, but with 1 minute 30 seconds remaining, it looks like this isn't going to end with a bang, but with a whimper. It feels like it's a very long, strung-out attempt for them to try and cap this. The attempt wasn't great. They didn't bring down the sentry gun. Not great stuff coming out currently.
Dream is on Sianaki though, and he gets the force out in lower lobby.
Oh my god.
That could be round saving for them potentially if they manage to keep their med alive here and get some good picks.
Avron needs to survive. Needs to survive
Pingu
here.
is behind as well on the back flank, on the flank here, and he's capping up, but gets taken down.
Zoic, and it's going to be Hallian trying to contest this if they can. At the same time, they're trying to play this. Halfrong fell somewhere in the midst of all this fight, all this action. So again, no medic, no advantage, and Sianaki holding on with this sentry gun. So difficult to push into, but with only 45 seconds remaining, they need to try and make a play, and they need to make it fast. Now Crud, he's found the kill onto the dispenser. Not the pick they wanted, I don't think, but this is difficult. This is very hard for them to do right now. 30 seconds now and counting. The clock currently ticking. The vaccinator coming out. I think that's the play that you need to do right now as they are moving ahead. They've got the heals. Pretty much almost everyone buffed currently on both sides of these teams. I think they need to bring down this sentry gun early and fast if they want to try and do it. And they're going to be moving in now with this vaccinator. Popping it off. They've got the teleporter down to try and block that point. Start to play it now if they can. Benjamin on Pyro doing his darnest, but that sentry gun absolutely destroying them. They're getting put into a blender. Crud left alive. Crud! Oh my god! No way! The Uber charge is going to play. It's a game of chicken. And it's not too late.
No!
I cannot believe that just happened.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god.
Sianaki with an excellent pop at the end to save that. My goodness.
That was ridiculous. That was crazy.
Oh my god.
Well, congratulations to Team Intoxicated, our Season 16, is it? Season 16 Intermediate ozfortress champions, going on getting themselves a free ticket to Prem next year. Well deserved. They looked shaky after throwing away a 2-0 lead on products, but they've come back in a convincing fashion. Not more than a single round in every single one of these maps. Fantastic grand final. Both well played by both teams. So that's excellent. Well done to both teams.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful series, and what a way to clinch it out. It seems like always Australian teams are involved with some form of medic play on lasts. I think, you know, indicative back to a lot of the Ice Series games and a lot of these games. That was just crazy, you know, just the pop. It purely came into playing that map time. Was, beautiful. I'm lost for words, Brent. I'm lost for words. It was just,
it was honestly
even
nuts.
No matter how many times you drop in a game, that's like instant redemption for a med.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Did he get saws off to try and get our Uber? Was he just going to Pound Town with the Uber saw?
I think he
or was
only
that,
just
did he
got
just
it,
build it up
potentially.
normally? He only just got it.
Yeah.
God almighty, that is... And as well, literally, it was Crud. Crud could not do a thing but just stare at him that entire time.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything about it. It's rough.
Had no stickies. If he tried to knock him off with stickies or pipes, he would have killed himself because he was so low. And he just had to watch as slowly but surely his dreams of being the IM champions just got ripped out of his hands. But God almighty. We're taking a look at these logs now. I'm imagining they're probably going to be up on the stream now. 317 damage per minute on Hyperion. 3.5 KAD. Pretty big damage, pretty big numbers as well coming up by him. He was a big high impact gamer for them. As well as Morph as well, putting in a lot of work. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. What was really the deciding factor in that game?
Just one thing to note, sorry, really quickly, Dream only got 3% heals. Also,
3%?
3%.
What?
415 heals, 3%. That's interesting.
How many deaths did he have? 18 deaths. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
That's an interesting one. I think this map, and we can see it in the Medigun usage percentage, the Vaccinator coming out from half wrong, I think that was one of the defining plays of this map, and possibly not for the good of Damage Incorporated. I think having it while they pushed out, they did some excellent pushes out of Badlands last, which is a notoriously hard push to make. Getting out onto Spire, they had this positioning, and had they had Uber, had they had a normal Medigun, they would have had Uber and been able to stabilize on second and keep it, but Intoxicated knew, and Intoxicated just built up their Uber. As we saw, they put the third damage type, they put the Pyro out for a little while, but they played the Blob excellently and just managed to decimate those Vaccinator Ubers with a normal Uber charge on second, and it won them a round, I'd say, the deciding round in this map.
I don't know if it was fatigue that got into it for Damage Incorporated, but I just felt like the Ubers on this map especially, I just felt like a lot of them were just really weak all the time. Like, the Ubers were just unfavourable, like 90% of the time, which really led to their downfall on this map, I think. I would have liked to see a bit more of the surgical play we saw come out on Product. You know, like we saw them come back from a 2-0 deficit and kind of bring it back 2-3. And I would have liked to see like that kind of really good execution play coming out on this map. But, you know, it is 3 maps in a series, and when you come to the final map, things don't often go as planned. But I think I still think they did a great job in this series. I think they did. They really came out and, you know, what am I trying to say? You know, they really came out and, you know, showed what they were made of. I don't think that they let Intox walk over them at all.
All right, we have three members of Intoxicated in Mumble. We've got team captains, vocalists,
hang on.
soldiers. We've got Hyperion in the pocket, Skaz the Roamer, and everyone's favourite backup for them and the team morale. And I think the real reason they won tonight. Zandy how are you going, mate?
I'm going good.
That's what I like to hear.
I was here the whole time listening to the intense calls.
That's alright. Well, congratulations on winning Intermediate, Zandy. How does that feel for you, man?
It feels amazing because they are basically my mentors.
That's good.
They have been here through my improvement.
Through your development as a player, if you will?
Yes.
That's awesome. Alright, we'll go on to the real winners now. Hyperion, Morph, and Skaz. Congratulations, all three of you are here. How do you felt that went for you over all 3 maps?
Pretty rocky. Pretty rocky at some stages. I thought they had us.
Pretty easy.
Oh.
Oi, this is the shit talk free cast. Come on.
That was never said.
Granary and Product. Our morale was down, but that's
honestly. Product was a big surprise. We thought we had that in the bag.
I think we did here as well.
That's what we were looking at, because Product for us, like we saw you guys, like you took the first 2 rounds really decisively. Your soldiers, like Skaz and Hyperion, really great work from you guys. Like you guys came in really good damage all the time, and then it kind of seemed like they kind of cottoned on to Skaz kind of going behind a lot of the time and really were able to shut that down a lot and bring it back 2-3. What was your mindset going into the second map being Granary, you know, which is often a bit of a slower map? And, you know, as we saw, you know, it ended up going 2-2 into a golden cap, you know, and those final few rounds for you guys were only just kind of edged out in the last few minutes. So how did you guys kind of feel going into that second map? Like, what were your mindsets?
Very desperate, and we needed to get stuff done, you know?
I was pretty
confident in our ability on a 5 CP map, actually, because I knew in on product, Skaz and I, like, towards the end, it was definitely we were not performing. We just couldn't, like, we weren't getting the space we'd got in the first 2 rounds. We weren't, like, getting the damage we were getting, and I thought on a 5 CP map, we could really step up and fight with the team more effectively.
Certainly. How did you feel with that 5 CP map? We saw some unorthodox plays coming out of Damage Incorporated, like that crits heavy and a few of those kind of things. And, we saw you guys running that spider mid on that first mid. Did you guys feel like coming up against Damage Incorporated, which was a team that's known for, trying some pretty unorthodox things, do you feel like you have to be on your toes a lot of the time? Like, I think we saw a few times, like, you more for, like, spamming around, thinking there was a spy around, maybe, potentially, stuff like that.
Yeah, they usually do, like, retarded stuff. So we were pretty, in the comms, we were always checking, like, Kefir Spy, and, like, when they were running heavy and, like, Vaccinator, especially on Badlands, big shout out to my medic, Cianarchy. He knows the strat. Heavy Pyro counters Vaccinator so well. So,
yeah, especially with that squad shot, it's so good. It just totally denies it.
Yep.
I got a question for you, Morph. Sorry for taking all the questions, co-casters, but I wanted to know, on Granary, I saw on that first mid, compared to Crud, what the rollout that you did, you used an extra sticky and took more damage, but you hit your health pack a lot faster than it hit him, and was able to lock him off. Him off from getting to his at all. But then coming into the other mids, you kind of didn't really do that. And what was your mindset with that? Was that just like you guys were trying a different push? You wanted to go like Cat instead? Or because I saw that worked really well for you, and I was really impressed as a caster to look at that and to see how you denied him so beautifully.
No, we usually just like go left, and it's like hard for me to like do anything to Crud because like he's literally like the best demo man in IM. And it's like it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, fair enough. Any questions from you, Bren?
No, I'm knackered. I'm really tired.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I'm just I'm exhausted. I've just been screaming for ages, and my throat's already like. I think I need to go to the doctors, to be honest. Like my throat's. Whew.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Well, I got some. I'll keep the questions coming then. Coming into the third map, we saw some interesting Ubers kind of coming out from Damage Incorporated. You guys seem to have some really good surgical play. We're able to keep them at that last, quite consistently able to kind of try to engineer some picks for yourselves and kind of get those rounds out. And did you feel like once you guys had that 1 round lead, once you hold them to the last, you guys could just take as much time as you wanted? Because I saw like, once they put the Vaccinator out, things started going a little bit back and forth. But, the Vaccinator is strong, but only for so long.
Yeah, for sure. I think I felt Badlands was the map where we played as a team the most, and our calls were most clear and concise, and we felt that we knew what we were doing.
Then again, it was a very messy game.
It was a messy game, but we came together and basically just followed the calls when it mattered, and definitely getting that being 2-1 up, and then pushing on to their second, holding mid. There was a discussion of whether we turtle mid, Crown style, just don't push. As they were running Vaccinator as well, that also would have been, an option because they as Vaccinator. We decided not to. We decided to just keep pushing back and forth, trying to get more rounds, try to continue to push that lead further.
Yeah. What's the future looking like for you guys? Are you guys going to off-class and not play in Prem but get put in Prem anyway? Or are you guys going to like stick together and keep that going?
Well, I want to go Prem. Hyperion and Morph are actually leaving next season, which is unfortunate. So, unless in the next hour we can get 2 players, we're not playing next season. Unless a miracle happens.
That's rough. That's always the way it is sometimes though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play together for a few seasons, then people got to split and do things. I've had a few teams go that way with players finishing up uni and that kind of good stuff. But, gotta hand it to you. Any questions from you, Yauch?
Well, I'm going to strangle your family since you pronounced my name with an N, but...
I corrected myself, come on!
That's fair call. I'll let it slide this time. Honestly not, dude. I just think you guys played excellently. It's been a long time coming for a couple of you. It's been a bit of a joke, but congratulations on winning, guys. Well deserved. You had a dominant season, and you came out and you guys were in a really tough position after product, and I think it just goes to show that you're very worthy winners being able to come back from that. So well done, guys.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, well,
That's good.
Congratulations, lads, once again. I'm going to take us down for the infamous shout-outs. I'll take us down the list, so one at a time, please, boys. Bren, any shout-outs from you, mate?
Shout out to my Twitter. Follow me at Brencast.
Going on
I've
now.
almost got 500 followers. Do you want me to follow, guys? I appreciate it. Won't follow you back. I just tweet absolute nonsense and shit, so you probably won't want to follow me. But yeah, I'm just gonna shout myself out. Selfish gamer.
Alright, Hyperion, any shout-outs from you, mate?
Shout out to you guys for casting this. Thanks for coming along. I know, Bren, you're a bit under the weather, but, you know, really means a lot to for you guys and all production and whoever. I'm going to go rewatch the stream. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Damage Inc. for putting up a great fight in the finals. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Koskoa, our mentor for the season. Great fella. Shout out to Mr. Aeroplane Nose Hurts, Big Danny. And shout out to For the Opens, my favourite open team. Yeah, I'm done.
Morph, any shout-outs to you, mate?
With a shout out to Koskoa. That is all. Koskoa.
Skaz, any shout-outs from you?
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Zandy. Shout outs to Ophens. And shout outs to my man Archimedes, who watched this stream, a school friend. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys.
We got a shout-out to whitelist.tf from Wiethoofd, our man on production. Yauch, any shout-outs from you, mate?
Alright, shout out to us for casting, not me, but you guys. Can we get some hearts in chat for the production especially? Bang on tonight. Shout out to both teams who've had fantastic seasons, and they supplied us with one hell of a final. Like, not more than a map in it in every single map, not more than a round in every single map. That was awesome. I got shout outs to Chris, Mason, Leo, Luke, and Ben from Nelson, and I've been told to give Jesus a shout out as well. So, thank you, everyone.
Alright, well, I'm going to do my shout-outs. I'm going to wrap it up for us here. I want to shout out to Lemons, shout out to Ninja Robot Dong Sharks, me boys, and shout out to Rebecca, I love you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here. My name's Oxy. You've been joined by me and Bren on cast. You got Yauch and Analyst, Wiethoofd on production. We are TF Live. You've been watching the ozfortress Season 16 Intermediate Grand Finals. Intoxicated take it after a beautiful series of 3 maps. Thank you for joining us, and tune in next time.
Watch this space, guys. We're coming back strong next season.